Friday, everybody. We've got a great show lined up for you. It is the first day of the second month of Good News WAN Show. That's right. The ratio of good news to bad news has to be, I forget what we settled on, but it's pretty much mostly good news this week, starting with something that is like a blast from my childhood past. The one and only ZS Knight, original developer of ZSNES, is back. ZSNES is back, completely rewritten from scratch. I actually haven't tried it yet, but I intend to this weekend. I'm super excited to talk about that. Also, we've got to be talking about... Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. Oh, this one's good. Microsoft has committed in something that they are codenaming K2, seemingly as an acknowledgement of the mountain they have to climb, a concerted effort to fix Windows. Very excited to talk about that. What else we got?
I took mine. Toyota.
You know I try, baby.
Toyota did what people have thought about for a really long time, which is they took a chair from a car and they put it on a stand with some wheels on it, and they called it a computer chair. Toyota's limited edition $3,500 Crown gaming chair has heating, cooling, and USB-C seat belt buckle. Didn't even know that part. It's so expensive.
But cheaper than a real Toyota.
That's true. Maybe not much more than a used one. And I don't know. We've got stuff. There's other stuff. We sponsored a drift car.
Really? You went with that?
I don't know.
Sure.
I saw a better one right under it. It is what it is.
The show is brought to you by Vessi, Odoo, Squarespace, and Ninja One, along with our wrap partner D-Brand and our laptop partner Razer and our chair partner also Razer.
If you were a famous musician, what genre would you want to be in?
What's the most annoying genre?
No, I think it's called noise.
I
think it's called noise.
Is that a thing?
Dan, tell me something. What do you think?
I would
Dan knows infinitely more about this than either of us.
I'm going with sure.
I would definitely be cringy.
As in, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be cringy pop style music for like moms at this point. I think that would be my best shot.
I don't know, Taylor Swift.
If I had half the talent that Taylor Swift has in one thigh, then I could hope to be, more like Taylor Swift. But no, I'm afraid I might have thighs, but they're not talented. Let's jump right
Hold on
into...
one second. Noise music, or simply noise, is a subgenre of experimental music that is characterized by its use of unwanted noise as a primary musical element. So that's I think that's probably the most annoying one. It's just terrible. Often featuring little or no melody, rhythm, or harmony.
That just sounds like someone was taking the piss.
It's just terrible.
And then it just accidentally a whole genre. All right. No, we're not doing this.
It's important that everyone knows about noise. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Microsoft has created an internal initiative called K2 to fix Windows 11.
Apparently it's been going on for a while, though.
They have finally admitted to themselves that Windows 11 is a giant boatload of suck, and according to sources inside Microsoft, is using the K2 initiative to fix the operating system's biggest pain points and win, pun intended, back user trust. The company is also reportedly intentionally pivoting away from shipping new features as fast as possible and refocusing on quality. It's kind of amazing how every time a company is like having big problems, the idea is, hey, why don't we stop intentionally sucking? Actually, I wish that was often the solution. I went on a rant about this recently, but not on camera. So here you go. Ready for it? Here comes the Tim Hortons WAN Show rant.
Oh, yeah.
This made me so angry. I was talking to an American or something, and they were basically like, well, yeah, right. You know, right? Like, bud, like Tim Hortons, right? Y'all Canadians, y'all like the Tim Hortons, right, bud? And I'm like,
triggered.
And I was basically
instantly triggered.
Okay, let me clarify, because yes, I do like Tim Hortons, but there's a bit of a temporal issue with that statement, because while it was once true for me and every proud Canadian, it is no longer true. Tim Hortons is now owned by Restaurant Brands, which, seriously, did they go to the LTT store school of naming shit? We're gonna have a company that owns Restaurant Brands. What should we call it? Let's call it fucking Restaurant Brands. That aside, okay, Restaurant Brands is owned by like BlackRock and some Brazilian conglomerate and like a bunch of private equity. There is nothing Canadian about Tim Hortons anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
And after all of that happened, Tim Hortons went, at least here on the West Coast, I've been told that on the eastern side, some of them do still bake the donuts fresh in store.
Oh, really?
Here on the West Coast, they went from baking the donuts fresh in store every day. Their slogan used to be always fresh. Always Tim Hortons. That was their slogan. Now they're still always Tim Hortons, but they're a gross, messed up, not fresh version of it. Like you could get a brand new, like the freshest donut in Tim Hortons. It'll taste like it's 3 days old these days. It's so bad. It's absolutely disgusting. How did I get on the subject of Tim Hortons?
I literally, to be honest. Oh, right. When companies start sucking.
Right. Okay.
Something.
So this was a while back. This must have been like a year ago at this point, but it made its way into my news feed that Tim Hortons was experiencing less than stellar growth and customer engagement.
Good.
And on a shareholder call, they're literally acknowledging soft sales, and they go, yeah, so here's our plan. We're going to really double down on the Canadiana in our marketing, and little kids skating on outdoor hockey rinks and maple leafs and beavers and all those very Canadian things in order to connect more to our Canadian. Here's an idea. Why don't you make f***ing edible food as a way to connect with your Canadian customers?
I used to, when I would travel abroad, so when I'm at airports, basically, I had a routine where every single time I would go to Tim Hortons. So the last thing I did in Canada was one of the most Canadian things you could do, which is go to Tim Hortons.
Go to Tim Hortons, get some chili.
Haven't done it. Yep.
Get a sandwich. Get a donut. They all suck now.
I haven't done it in years.
They even f***ed up the chili. How do you f*** up chili? It's literally just meat and tomato paste and beans, and then you just put it over heat. Okay, the chili's fine, but the problem is the bun sucks.
Oh, the chili has gotten worse as well.
Has it really? Okay,
I think so.
I haven't had it in a while.
It feels like it. I might just be
dude,
annoyed.
The bun tastes...
I also use the bun as a spoon.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
So the bun being way worse may have impacted my opinion of the chili.
Okay, because I used to go and get Tim Hortons chili for my lunch. Seriously,
dude,
this is embarrassing, but 2 to 3 times a week. When I was working at NCIX, I'd get my chili, I'd get my bun, I'd get, usually, when they had them, I'd get the blueberry fritter. Oh, the blueberry fritter. The only problem with the blueberry fritter was how often they ended up undercooking them, which looking back on it is maybe why they stopped baking them in store. The point is, that doesn't matter. I would get my blueberry fritter, I'd get my lemon iced tea, and that was it. The lunch of champions. That lunch took OCZ as a product line from $3,000 a month to $300,000 a month, okay? That's what Tim Hortons chili did in its prime. Now, I wouldn't feed my dog that bun. I don't even have a dog. Anyway, so yeah, I wish that every company came up with the idea of how about making the product suck less? But Restaurant Brands couldn't do it. Anyway.
I genuinely think Tim Hortons was so important to Canada's national identity that sale should have been blocked.
I actually strongly agree.
It actually was our prime minister would talk about it globally. It was not a
This was not just some random like restaurant.
Yeah.
Like going to Tim Hortons in the morning for breakfast is like
might as well be the canteen of Canada. Like it's just and it's
like
ruined now.
Like I'm trying to think of like what would be
I don't know of a single example.
It would be like Ford. It would be like Ford selling
being
to
a
like
purely
Volkswagen
Chinese company.
Yeah. Or to Geely or something. Like imagine as an American, if you're watching this right now, if like fucking Ford was not American.
I don't think Ford is as tied into the American ID as Tim Hortons was into Canadian.
Depends. You know, like built Ford tough, like dude, is there a country on earth that loves the F-150 the way that America does? Like let's be real here.
But still
let's be real here.
I still think it's more.
Like what would be like a German equivalent? Like what would be so offensive to like guys hit me with it. You know what? No, we can move on. Okay, so coming back to Windows, on the performance side, the start menu is being completely rewritten in Microsoft's own WinUI 3 framework, which is supposed to make it 60% faster and more responsive. That's such a baffling one to me. Is like when I open the start, what are you even doing? Like there's things that I do on computers that just completely bewilder me how they can take as long as they do. A perfect example of this, we were running a benchmark on set yesterday. We were performance testing. We ran SLI. We grabbed some 3090 Ti's.
Okay.
And we like ran like modern games that would still run. It's not really SLI. It's more of like the DirectX 12 multi-GPU thing. But hey, we ran them. And in the best case scenario, it was actually pretty competitive with a 5090 and like 3D Mark. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, the point is when we were running 3D Mark, I was just like, I was losing my mind because it's just always bothered me. You know how it does that thing where it's like detecting system configuration? And it takes like a minute. To do what?
Yeah, like how long does Steam Hardware Survey take?
How long does it take to get a string of characters for the identifier of a piece of art? Like we run at billions of operations per second on modern computing devices. You've got to be kidding me. Or like when a Wi-Fi access point takes like forever to authenticate the password. It's like, it's literally 8 bits. I know it isn't.
Okay. All right.
I know it isn't. But it seems so trivial. And in the same way, the start menu is like, what are you even actually doing? Like all of this has got to be pre-cached. What are you doing? You're not doing anything. Why is there like a delay? Well, hopefully there won't be any more.
I don't know enough of the difference between like what is it, WinUI or whatever, and React Native. As far as my understanding goes, React Native was calling WinUI. So the start menu right now is a React Native app, as far as my understanding goes.
Yeah.
And if they're just removing that layer and stepping down one and going to WinUI, I don't know how this stack works. I read quickly that apparently at least sometimes it is calling WinUI. So I'm assuming they're just stepping down a layer. Like maybe you gain a bunch of performance there. The fact that any part of Windows native UI is React Native is wild to me.
Oh, this is great. G-Freak has another good one. I hate it when Windows takes forever to tell me my password's wrong. I accidentally pressed enter instead of, enter anything. Like, just immediately, when you do it like 6 or 7 times or whatever, that can be a security feature where it's like delaying you being able to put it in again.
And whatnot.
But when it just like takes a while, it's like a handful of characters that either the hash matches or it doesn't, for the crying out loud. Anyway, Microsoft is also reportedly removing ads from its start menu. Again, like a bold move. This is like restaurant sales falling. They come up with the bold idea of making food fresh. And then for gaming, Microsoft is treating, this is crazy. This is probably the best marketing for SteamOS that Valve could have never afforded, with all their billions and billions of dollars of, I'm Gabe Newell, rather than buying a yacht, I will literally buy the company that makes the yachts. All of the money that they have could never have purchased. Microsoft is treating Valve's SteamOS as a performance benchmark. They want Windows gaming performance to be comparable to SteamOS on identical hardware, which they say is critical because the next Xbox is reportedly going to run Windows 11. Oh man, they were doing really good up until this?
Have they hard confirmed that there was going to be another Xbox?
Yeah, Project Scorpio, I think it's called. Like the new CEO is like, or Helio something. Helix. Thank you, Lightning XCE in chat. File Explorer is also getting major performance fixes with a third-party app called File Pilot being used as the performance benchmark they're shooting for. This is like embarrassing. Who makes File Pilot? Like, no offense, you're probably...
No, it's the opposite. It's a huge fucking brag if you're File Pilot. That's amazing.
But I don't even know who you are. And the fact that Microsoft, a multi-trillion-dollar company, is looking at this going, yeah, these guys are crushing us. We need to do better. Okay, who are you? Manifesto, fast.
Dude, a search for system commands? This is actually sick.
Hold on, we're getting it.
Is File Pilot dope?
Dude, File Pilot is one guy.
Dude.
Catholic, Croatian, husband, father of 5. One extremely busy
and
guy.
Just donking on Windows. Look at that.
That's awesome. Okay, what am I looking at here? Oh, this is File Pilot.
Yeah, he's selected a bunch of things and select a system. He can search.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. That's awesome.
Finally, Windows Update is being reworked too, with the goal of making Windows 11 reliable enough that you only need to restart once a month.
Dude, File Pilot's cool. You might, if we're doing that thing, you should maybe include
Microsoft setting the bar. Okay, we wanna beat the performance of an operating system that the games literally don't even run natively on. We want to beat this one dude in Explorer, like the most critical thing in Windows that literally is like Windows 3.1, okay? And we want to only have to restart your computer once a month. They put the bar here. Come on, you guys. Also, the taskbar is getting back the ability to be moved and resized. K2 is reportedly not going to be a single release, but an ongoing initiative that started in the second half of 2025, with most changes rolling out through the end of 2026 and into 2027. Discussion, question. And for this, I need you to put away the chat, close your eyes, and search deep inside your feelings. Search your feelings, Luke.
Okay. Channeling the Force.
Sorry. Do you think Windows can win back its users? And you're searching your feelings because, you at least used to be a Windows user. Or is it too little too late? Search your feelings, Luke.
I think so. And the reason why I think so is I think most of them haven't left yet.
Yeah.
I think most of them are very vocally angry, as honestly they should be. And this is why you should be, because we're seeing action come of the rage that the community has had. I think some people have left. I've left. I'm not stopping using Linux when the Linux challenge is over. There's a spoiler. I'm going to continue using it. But it isn't completely too late. The approach that I'm taking right now is, what is the most appropriate tool for me to use to have the least frustration, the most good time, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And be able to operate and get stuff done without significant inability to do the thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
And right now that is almost always pushing me to Linux, either Mint on my laptop, CachyOS on my desktop. I do plan on ending with a dual boot setup on my desktop, but it's honestly completely unnecessary on my laptop, and I will be continuing to run Mint. If this bar shifts and it makes more sense for me to use Windows, I'd probably just use Windows. But that is not currently true. And I'm trying to be honestly pretty what would I say about that?
Objective?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I went over to my Windows Drive because I still have my Windows Drive in my desktop. It's just been sitting there untouched for like 2 months. I jumped over to my Windows Drive just to like, okay, like, is it going to function? I haven't even booted into it for 2 months. I don't know. Like, did I corrupt it in that time? Maybe.
I better know where this is going.
I ran Windows Update for a while, got annoyed by a few things, booted back into Cache and was like, nice. It took, and I know I haven't updated in a while, okay, all right. It took forever to update. It was so long. Super, super long time. It felt so stupid that like the control panel seems like it wants to fight me. Like there's just like I'm trying to do multiple things at once, and it's like no, I'm just gonna like redirect. I guess you can just have one of me open. It's like what are you even talking about? Search was just annoying again. Just like everything, it was just like ugh. It felt gross, so I went back.
All right, let's jump into Windows Insiders.
Actually, sorry, there's an interesting question from chat. At Zium said, have you tried macOS recently? If not, would you give it a try? I'm more open to trying other operating systems now. I recently learned Mint and Cache.
Do you want to borrow my Neo? I'm not using it right now. It's on my desk.
I don't necessarily think so, but what I was going to add is that I was using my mom's Neo for a bit, and it was totally fine. I do find macOS a little weird. I don't know if I would fully get used to it. I still don't think it's for me, really.
There's some stuff that I find just completely unnecessary and irritating about macOS. The fact that you have to click on a window first to make it the focus window before you can interact with the thing. I see it both ways. Like on Windows, sometimes you can, like if a window like pops up, and you're like about to click something, you can like accidentally interact with something that you didn't mean to. And I can see how the macOS way kind of prevents that. But also it just creates a second click. Like anytime I'm switching between things, and I do not find that to be great.
There's a couple little things like that. There's a couple things that feel a little clunky to me just because I don't know, it's just not really my style. I do think, however, at this point in time, if there was a killer app on macOS, I wouldn't flinch using it.
Yeah.
Which I think is not true as of a year ago. So like if I was an editor and it was like, oh boy, I'm going to have to use Final Cut, it's like, okay. I mean, if I have a Mac, yeah, sounds good.
More Windows news, though. Windows Insiders can now pause updates indefinitely in 35-day increments. Windows Insiders can... and there's no cap on renewals. This is Windows... for crying out loud. Okay, we need to do a thing where the title and the first line are not the same. Because just...
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Also, indefinitely for 35 days?
Yeah, so for as long as you want, you can keep saying 35 days later. 35 days later.
Okay.
You can also restart or shut down without being forced into an update and restart. Previously, you got 5 weeks max before Windows would force these updates. This is only available in the experimental channel, which replaced the old dev and canary channels. Microsoft's own description, features here may change, get delayed, or not ship at all. So the people testing this are the ones who opted into the most bleeding edge pre-release builds because they want updates as early as possible. Regular Windows users who've been getting forced restarted mid-meeting for a decade don't have this yet, and there's no timeline or confirmation for a general rollout. Now, our discussion question is, how did it take Microsoft over a decade to let people decide when their own computer updates? And my crazy hot take response is, I actually don't like this. Crazy.
People should probably update their computers.
When I did my first macOS challenge, so the first time I switched to macOS, I think it was on the 5K iMac, was the first time I used nothing but macOS for 30 days or 60 days or however long it was. The thing that was most life-changing about it for me, in a positive way, was the way that macOS handled updates at that time, and it still does, actually. And that is that it would say, hey, there's an update, like a little thing, and then you'd be like, okay, and then you would come in the next day, in the morning, and everything would be exactly where you left it, and your computer would have installed all the updates and then opened everything back up right where you left it. pausing updates is not the solution. Better handling of saving all of my work, saving my state, and then restoring my state and just doing the update when I'm not using my computer is, in my opinion, a way more elegant solution. Like I get agitated when, someone hands me their phone or their computer to use and I see that they're running like a year-old build of whatever operating system they're on.
Something I've really started to enjoy is I actually system update way more often on Linux than I did on Windows, but I really like that it just updates everything. Like, that's awesome. Like, I'll get Discord updates, I'll get any other software that I have. It'll just update my entire system all at once. I'm not individually updating programs.
But are you asking for the Microsoft? I mean, the Microsoft Store is the thing that exists, and Windows can manage your updates for you. But I think most of us choose
just make it not terrible, though. Like but honestly, I think that's really the solution. Like, games for Windows would have been fine if it wasn't dog crap. Microsoft Store would be totally fine. People like package managers on Linux. They just don't always suck complete butt. And
a lot of the time they suck
Microsoft, yeah. Okay. The first one that I had on Cache sucked, and then I went with KDE, and now I actually really like it. But and the one that comes packaged with Mint is like fantastic, to be honest. But it's very up and down. But the Microsoft Store, in my opinion, is like the problem.
Yeah, and the fact that Windows Update and the Microsoft Store are not integrated.
Yeah,
like
crazy. Like, if the best way to install stuff on Windows was Microsoft Store, because Microsoft Store wasn't an annoying piece of crap, and also because that way it would just auto-update along with Windows Update and just made everything really smooth.
And, like, why do I have to go digging for a driver update? And I know that Microsoft has actually done a lot of really good work around, like, automatic driver management, but the fact that some of it is over here, and some of it is like it'll never update unless I like go and get it. And some of it is handled by like Armory Crate. And some of it is in Windows Update. And like the fact that it's everywhere it's one of those things where the first thing that someone would tell me from Microsoft, or even, a viewer would tell me is, well, that's not X's fault, or that's because of this,
and that might be true.
Freedom of choice here,
solved.
And you know what? Those things are super, super true. But you know what? As a user, from a user perspective, I don't give a flying fuck whose fault it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a terrible user experience, and somebody needs to fix it. Like the way that.
And this is, while you think of that,
go ahead.
This is what I'm talking about like all the time when I talk about how it's not even here right now, so I keep gesturing at it. But my laptop, when I talk about how it's actually easier and like less annoyance and more productivity to use it, this is what I'm talking about. I don't have to go around and update all these individual apps. I'm not like partway through working on something and then I need to open another app to do something and, oh my God, now that needs an update, whatever. No, I just update once and it does everything. It's fine and it works. It's great. Everyone freaks you out when you go to any Arch-based distro because they're like, oh, it's rolling. You're going to update. It's going to break everything. When I go to update on Cache, it checks Arch news.
Oh.
It'll be like, oh, no, this one might require manual intervention. You might not want to install this right now. And it's like, okay. And I just close it. And then I wait until it doesn't. Nice. Just do it that way. Like it's...
Harry G made a good point. The driver nightmare is because of third parties. They don't want to ship their drivers via Windows Update because they can't bundle their bloatware with it. So then Microsoft should just straight up stop WCL certifying anything that requires bloatware to be shipped with it. Like these are things that Microsoft...
Flex your muscle, man.
Does, like they flex their muscle to do the wrong things. Like they're flexing their muscle to put stupid Candy Crush in my stupid operating system. No, flex your muscle to do things that enhance the user experience and make Windows more secure and faster and more powerful and more usable. All right, let's jump into... Ooh, okay. This is one of our bad newses for this week. Intel has reportedly canceled discrete gaming GPUs in the upcoming Xe3P Arc Celestial family. According to Intel leaker Jay Ken, Intel canceled their discrete GPUs. So these are the add-in cards for Celestial long ago. That means that the Arc B580, so this is their Battle Mage generation, will remain Intel's latest gaming GPU with no clear successor in sight. XE3P will show up in data center and workstation products, just not gaming cards. The next-gen XE4 Druid architecture is expected late 2027, but whether it gets a gaming GPU, in Jay Kin's words, is up in the air. Intel has not confirmed or denied any of this. Our discussion question here is, if Intel quietly walks away from gaming GPUs, what happens to GPU pricing? The answer is it goes up. However,
the answer is nothing.
However,
unfortunately,
I really want to keep the faith. This is something that
Me too.
Former Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger allowed to continue Intel's discrete GPU ambitions, and I really hope that Lip-Bu-Tan does not kill. I know that there's a lot of issues with the consumer cards that, like being low margin and catering to a super noisy, high maintenance customer base. Let's face it, gamers are not the easiest customers to deal with, but I really do believe, and if they're the strongest argument that I can make for this is, so does Jensen Huang, who is the CEO of, from time to time, the world's most valuable company. I really do believe that the innovation on the gaming side makes the enterprise and professional sides better and stronger for all the work that they do, and also gives you a volume market that you can dump silicon into to help fund all the development that you need to do. I don't think it makes sense to build a GPU business that doesn't have a consumer arm if you've already done so much of the work for Alchemist and Battle Mage to fix the backwards compatibility and to refine the architecture. Please just give us a bigger desktop version of, what you're already shipping, amazing technology on laptop. Please don't let it die.
And if you have to skip Celestial,
fine.
Don't skip Druid.
Don't skip Druid. We need more options. And gamers, it's like the Windows thing. Gamers they're mad at Microsoft, they're mad at NVIDIA, but you've got to give them a better option or they're just going to begrudgingly stay there forever. And Intel continues to put in the work on the software side. You got to give us hardware to run it on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Dan, what are we supposed to be doing?
You can keep doing topics, or we can do the CW announcements.
Oh, I feel like I should probably talk about the CW announcements.
Let's do that,
Luke, do you want to fire up the site?
Sure.
This week, it's a huge week for Creator Warehouse. Is Shipstorm still running? Yes.
Looks like it.
I believe so. So the Shipstorm sale is still running. So now is an amazing time to pick up basically anything at LTTStore. So we've got buy more, save more on our blank t-shirts. We've got deals running on our scribe driver, bolt action pen and pencil, as well as our long sleeve t-shirts. And then, hold on. Let me see if I can find the details. And we have some super cool new items. So Shipstorm, free shipping across Canada on orders over 150 and worldwide on orders over 225. And then on the US site, oh no, I wish I had these details ready. I'm so sorry, you guys. And then on the US site, Shipstorm is, free US-wide shipping on orders over 150. And then Floatplane Supporter Plus. So if you're on Floatplane at the Supporter Plus tier, it actually goes down to just $100 US. So it's a great time to join Floatplane. Also, we have some new arrivals. We'll have Luke's laptop. We have some new prints for our party shirts.
Yeah.
These are flipping amazing. Want to give us a close-up of that? Are you serious right now?
Laptop zoom. This touchpad is a little weird. It's not the site. It's the touchpad. Cursors.
Yeah!
Some of them are hourglasses.
How cute is
Some of them are
that?
hands. Some of them are pointers.
Right?
That's fun.
Yeah! And then we've also got, okay, this one's sick.
Let me just
Are you
try.
okay?
There we go. That works.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this is like a very kind of 90s and like 90s screensaver and computing and also, I don't know, work from home. It's got a whole bunch of different like vibes, like work from the beach.
Work from home.
Kind of. Yeah, like the palm trees and stuff.
Sure.
Just like, don't mind me here chilling on my like CRT laptop or whatever. And then this one's meant to just be like a very wearable lollipop print. Totally not inspired by anything else that looks like that. It's lollipops, it's candies, it's umbrellas. It definitely is not a beach ball. 100% not a beach ball. We've also got the spinning wheel of death pin set. Okay, well now we've really gotten rid of any plausible deniability that we could have had around where that design inspiration came from. So here's our pin set that is, yeah, definitely not a beach ball, except for the one that definitely is a beach ball. So we've got candy umbrella as well as a lollipop in there. What else do we got? Yeah, so you can get yours at lmg.gg/partyshirt and lmg.gg/wheel of death. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more low-key, we've also got 2 new polo colors, plus a restock on black. So soft cotton blend with a bit of stretch, so it's comfortable without feeling sloppy. Clean, simple look that works whether you dress it up or keep it casual. These are just easy to put on pieces that go with pretty much anything and that you can wear it pretty much anywhere. And you can shop at lmg.gg/polos. We also do this kind of fun thing where we have like a little kind of splash of accent color down there. There you go. Polo shirts, dress blues, brilliant white, and black. Look how much happier Plouffe looks. Come on, Reese, would it kill you to smile? Love that guy. We did an upgrade for him yesterday. We're bringing back Setup Doctor, and his setup needed some doctoring. He streams, he games, he does like unboxings of fancy shoes. He had so many shoes, so we helped a little bit with the organization of that. We got him like a new desk set up, and he tufts. Does like carpet tufting, and so we got like a much more ergonomic, space efficient setup in his little room where he does all of those things. So that was a fun shoot, guys. Don't miss that one. Lots of good vibes. Also, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, now's a great time to get an order in. Also, I think that a lot of people probably missed it, but hold on, where are they? Yeah, cables. So we did have a small restock hit our US distribution hub today for truespec cables. Okay, yeah, many of the sizes are already out of stock again. The only way that you're going to have a shot of getting these, guys, is to make sure that you get the notify me, because when they hit, they're gone. So there's nothing I can do about that. It's in priority sequence. You guys gotta get in there. So yeah, we had an order hit today, and then you can actually see in the dashboard where it hits. Here, check this out. This is hilarious. Gee, Luke, can you tell me where the cable restock was?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe where
the
snake ate the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wild.
Yeah. So make sure you do that. All right.
2 comms.
Oh, right. So if you're placing an order now, it's a perfect time because we have what we call checkout messages. When we stream, we don't want you guys to just throw money at us for nothing. We want to work for it. That's right. Me, Luke, and Dan. We all want to work for it. So instead of having people just send like Twitch bits or super chats or whatever, we created what are called checkout messages or comms. All you got to do to send one is head on over to LTTStore.com, add something like, our new flex pants to your cart, and go to the checkout. there it is. You can choose to have it displayed as a checkout message. You can make your name anonymous, or you can show your name. You can send a little message, and then you can choose your color and whether or not you want to opt into email communication about your message. This will help us follow things up with you if you want. All right. Then you go ahead and place your order, and it will go to producer Dan.
I already waved. I don't know what to do now.
You'll have to come up with something.
Wave with the other hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid. It looks weird. I'm not used to him doing that.
It hurts.
Anyway, it'll go to producer Dan, who will reply to your checkout message, or will pop it up down here or up there, or who will curate it for me and Luke, and it's often Dan, to respond to. Dan, do you want to do a couple for us?
Yeah, sure. Hey, DLO, currently visiting Vancouver with my wife and kids.
Nice.
I had no idea it was so beautiful. Capilano Park is awesome.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys go hiking or anything like that?
Not as much as I should. Literally, we were like flying over the like outer Vancouver region, and I was like, Luke, did you have any idea that there were this many hiking trails in this area?
I knew there was a lot,
here?
but it looked like wherever we particularly were at the time.
I think it was
which
over
I don't
like
know.
Chilliwack or whatever.
That's
it was like,
very likely.
Yeah.
It looked like a video game map.
it was
Like there was just so many trails.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
and they didn't seem to be like dried riverbeds. Like they seemed to be hiking trails.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The entire area was just littered with them. And I was like, how have I never been on any of these?
Some of them are pretty great.
Absolutely
Mount
ridiculous.
Cheam is pretty legendary.
So yeah, we should. Have you ever done the grind?
No. I've always
Okay.
gone the other way.
Gone the other way.
Yeah.
What's the other way?
Isn't the grind North Van?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always gone like out.
Oh, I thought you meant you've always like gone down it. It's like
I take the gondola up.
you're literally not even allowed. Like it's
That would also be the one way that would be really bad for my knees.
Yeah.
Is to go down.
okay. Well, if you ever want to do the grind, I'll do the grind. It's called
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Grouse Grind. It's on Grouse Mountain. You can like hike up the mountain.
Yeah.
It's pretty savage. You wait till your knees.
It's
are
more
good.
of like a workout than
Yeah.
what you might expect from a traditional hike.
This is fair.
It's just like an incredible amount of stairs, which is awesome. There's people that do it like literally every day. Like it's great. It's just quite a bit of a different experience from what I've heard. My brother shot up there recently.
Hi, WAN.dll. First off, SAN update when? I'm a storage and backup engineer, and that is my daily bread and butter. Second, did you consider any centralized backup solution? Also, why so few tall shirts?
Now I can see why you curated this one, Dan.
It's a really good question.
We
Yeah, Linus.
are expanding slowly our selection of tall merchandise. We have to go slow and steady.
Sure.
This may be a surprise to you, all of you, but physical goods are an extremely cash flow sensitive business. Every new product requires a brand new upfront investment that may or may not pay off, and we just have to be careful. We have to go slow. We have to be careful. We're not taking private equity. We don't have outside investors. So every time we launch a new product, that's the product team working with me and working with our other leadership and going, okay, here's all the chips. These are our chips. Here we are betting them. Let's hope it pays off. It doesn't always. We've got to be careful. It really is that simple and also complicated.
I think the new war is gonna have to be over pants.
Tall pants.
I know when well, not even necessarily tall pants, just when you guys launched the flex pants, I was really surprised the inseam length was 29, and then on an internet forum, somebody posted like, "Wow, LTTStore really makes me feel really tall," and it was in relation to those pants because they're like, "Wait, inseam 29 is all they?" Yeah.
Pants are tough, man. You have to have all the waist sizes. Ideally, you would have all the inseam sizes. We've done as much as 2 inseam sizes for a pair of pants. I believe the cargo pants we have 2 inseams for.
Tough, yeah.
And it literally double. Like you got to think about it in terms of SKU count. You literally double your SKU count. And if we still had everything consolidated at a single distribution center, that would be a little bit easier. But every additional layer of complexity you add, it's a multiplier.
Yeah.
It's not additive, it's multiplicative.
So was that like, I'm just genuinely curious.
Yeah.
We've sold pants before. So was that like, was most of our orders 29? Or like, how did we land on 29?
We landed on that as sort of a best middle ground for most people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And what we would have probably done if we had another SKU is we would have gone longer, yeah. But that was one of those ones where...
like the tech pants are 30 and 32. People also got a kick out of you guys calling tall 32.
There's funny. Degrees of tall.
I'm a 32. So
yeah,
it's tall.
Dan's pretty tall.
What do we call?
Maybe I got stumpy legs.
Jonathan and Conrad and Lucas and those guys.
I mean, Lucas.
Towers.
Yeah. Like. Okay, SAN update. I am still not convinced that SAN is the right solution for us. Every time I've asked someone who's very pro storage area network why we should have one, they have not given me a satisfactory answer. NAS seems like the way to go for us. We don't have the same kind of like resiliency and like cross org access complications that you might have if you're like I don't know, flipping like multinational, or if you're like, you're running a data center that has, CPU compute over here and GPU compute over here, so you need to have like a storage network that they all access. Like, we don't have any of those use cases. We just have individual users accessing file level resources that are centrally stored. Can someone explain to me why we need SAN?
I think Floatplane has SAN.
Yeah, Floatplane does, but
do we have no Ceph?
I think you're using
locally?
Ceph, right?
Yeah. Do we have no Ceph locally?
I don't think
so.
I don't think there was a reason to.
It was a pitch at one point.
Yeah. And then
we didn't go that route.
It's all redundancy. Yeah. But we don't need that much redundancy. We have the one share that is like the current project's actually redundant and replicated places share. And then everything else, we made a conscious decision. And it's been, it's funny for me seeing people sort of go, oh, remember that time they lost data? Yes. We've other than, when we lost Wannick, that was bad. But the time that our vault had some data loss, we had made a conscious decision that this was non-essential archived data, and that if we lost it, we had decided that it was not worth the additional expense of replicating that storage. And that's especially true today, man. Storage has gotten so expensive. And so we've made the decision that we only really need the projects we're working on, and every other like random snippet of footage, if we lost it, we lost it. It doesn't really matter. And so going for something more complicated, more expensive, that requires more administration, I don't see the point. Oh, are you literally talking to AJ in chat right now?
And Jonathan, they're both in here.
Oh, okay,
we do
perfect.
have Ceph on-prem. It's just in the lab, and it's just an MVP right now.
Sure.
And there's only a few things kind of running into it. But the thing is, when you take AJ and Jonathan and you throw them in the pool of IT people that do stuff for LMG, they come from Ceph and Kubernetes land.
Yep.
So like why not? It becomes, I think, a lot more reasonable. It's a right tool for the right job for the right person type of situation. We have AJ and Jonathan. We might as well do this thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a recommendation for everybody.
Like TCL 987 says, I would think you'd want SAN for running VMs so that a storage node going down doesn't take down the VMs too. In terms of like critical VMs on the media group side and the creator warehouse side, which make up the majority of our revenue, I can think of like a couple of VMs we run. Like, sure, on the Floatplane side, yeah, sure, you're 100% right. Like, you want that redundancy built into that storage network that everything else is using. But for video editing, we don't have nodes of storage. We just have a storage server that every periodically backs up to another one.
So if Floatplane was on-prem, you need it. Floatplane has it anyways.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yeah. Faint Locket asks, can you explain what SAN is? So basically, the idea is that instead of having your storage in each machine, right, like this, and then like allocating, like instead of putting like a drive into your computer and going, okay, here, virtual machine, this is like your drive. SAN is an entire separate network of machines whose entire job is to provide storage for all the other machines on the network.
A big pool.
Yeah, so whether their job is to run VMs, or whether their job is to serve media, or whether their job is for the editors to access it, all of these compute resources will just, instead of having local storage over the network, they will access this storage network, which is entirely separate boxes that maybe don't need a ton of compute, but do need like a butt ton of storage. And then this storage network is going to be built with redundancies and safeties that make it so that if one of these machines goes down, all the other machines that are doing all of your web serving and all of your compute or all of your research or whatever it is they're doing are still able to access their storage as if nothing happened. So it's a way of distributing your storage to make it so that a failure will not impact your operation at all, rather than taking down one of your nodes. But we have so few nodes outside of the Floatplane side, and so little critical infrastructure that I'm just not convinced that it is relevant for us. Torpedo Bench describes it as kind of like RAID, but at a much bigger scale. And that's kind of a way of thinking about it. Instead of your one machine having multiple drives, one of which could fail, all of your machines have like a bunch of machines that have a bunch of drives in them, and an entire machine could fail, and then they'd be able to still access it. It's kind of a neat way of thinking about it. And then NAS is more like it's like a storage area network that's not really a network. It's just a standalone resource that all of those things can access over the network that might have some redundancy in the form of RAID, for instance, but it doesn't have like multi-machine level redundancy. That's about the kind of simplest way that I can summarize it. Okay, yeah, time to do more topics.
No.
Legendary ZSNES Nintendo emulator has been rewritten from scratch with GPU acceleration. The original developers of ZSNES, or ZSNES, or ZSNES, whatever you want to call it, ZS Knight and Demo, are back together for the first time in nearly 2 decades with Super ZSNES, a complete ground-up rewrite of the legendary SNES emulator that dates back to the DOS era, and the first Super Nintendo emulator that I ever used. I have personally played through Final Fantasy VI on this emulator, Chrono Trigger on this emulator. Like, man, I have very fond memories of using this, oftentimes uncooperative, but quite treasured piece of software.
It was what everybody used for a long time.
The last major release was almost 20 years ago, though. So, big change here is a GPU-powered PPU core that enables high-res mode 7, widescreen support in supported games, overclocking for games that were notorious for slowdown, uncompressed audio, and per-game visual enhancements that the devs are calling Super Enhancement Engine. It also keeps the classic falling snow UI. It's available now on Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android, with iOS coming soon. And the devs made a point of listing no vibe coding as an official feature. Everything was handwritten the classic way. Now, with that said, I have heard that it's a little buggy. It is an early build. Special chips like the SuperFX are not supported yet. But in a world where vibe coding is everywhere, is no vibe coding a selling point for this for you? Would you want to try it? I want to try it. Spoiler, I want to try it.
I don't know if no vibe coding is particularly a selling point, but I'm going to try it anyways.
I want to hear you talk about that.
If stuff is properly, I know people that use vibe coding stuff in a way that I would consider properly, and I know people that use vibe coding in a way that I would hyper aggressively not consider properly. If these two guys said that they used AI assisted tools, I don't think I'd be too concerned about it.
Interesting. So to you, it's more about who's
wielding the tool,
having the skills, and having the street cred to take shortcuts.
And know to review it and make sure that bad stuff doesn't get through still. Because it also depends, did they say no? Okay, so no vibe coding specifically. So, okay, maybe that is particularly a good thing. But AI assisted coding.
So here's the quote. No vibe coding, classic development style. But that's pretty ambiguous.
Yeah.
What's classic?
Well, to them, 20 years ago might be just no assistance.
No, I don't think it's that they haven't been doing work. They just haven't been working on ZSNES.
No, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, AI-assisted coding has been a thing for a super long time. Yeah, Peter said this, and I mean, I've said this on WAN Show a billion times, and I just still agree with it. The buck stops with the one who commits the code. 100%. It goes back to that IBM thing that I've also shown on WAN Show before. Quote, a computer cannot be held responsible. Let's find the slide. Here. A computer cannot be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. And a management decision is to commit code. So, from the vibe that I get from this team, these two people, I mean, I wouldn't particularly be too concerned about it. But there will be people that will vibe code something and they'll tell me that excitedly, and I know who it is, and I know how much work and development they've done, and I'll be like, oh boy, I'm excited to see how many different ways this breaks. I wonder how many security keys are hard-coded and publicly readable. Things like that.
Why do you have to call me out like that? No,
oh, no.
That never happened.
Oh, no. Security key for your Google Sheet.
Yeah. Speaking of the Linus Vibe Coding Challenge, the project is officially dead, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In the form of a video. Oh. But I'm still trying to turn it into, at least if it can be cobbled together relatively easily, a Floatplane video or something. So the problem is not that I was not able to vibe code a solution. I was, and it's actually been in production since I vibe coded it, which is 6 months ago now or something, which is the problem. By the time we would be releasing this video, everything that I did is so far removed from the current state
just
of AI and vibe coding that it just doesn't make any sense to talk about it.
You'd have to redo the entire thing.
Which I could probably do. In fact, I could probably do way faster with better tools, and now that I've done it. But the entire premise of the video for me was, as someone who's never done this, what does that look like? And we would no longer be answering that question. The other thing that it wasn't killed because of is our real developer. Our real developer was able to create a solution, but because of scheduling and stuff and people being busy, I still haven't seen it. So what I was hoping that we could still do is have me sit down and have it shown to me, and then Dan could just kind of walk me through it.
Yeah.
And then we just do that on camera.
Sure.
And then we can do that and then I could do like a short little summary.
He already walked me through it on camera.
Okay, perfect. And then we can just throw that up on Floatplane or something like that.
Yeah. Another. Sorry, are you done?
No, and then I probably need a little bit more of his time though, because I need it to work for mixed doubles and singles as well.
Ultimately, I mean, you pay his check, so.
Well, I know, but then why did we have to do this whole vibe coding? So the vibe coding challenge started because I needed some development resources for something that didn't really matter. But then it mattered because it was a video, but then now it's not a video. I feel like it would have been better for us to just say, hey, can I have some of Dan Siegel's time?
It's easier now and more appropriate now, I think. So if you want some this time, it makes sense. I wanted to say one more thing on the Super ZSNES thing.
Yeah.
I think there's also can I classify this as a cry wolf problem? I don't know. I watched a short clip last night before completely tearing down my entire computer setup of Shroud going back to Counter-Strike. Because I was interested, because what I've heard is that Counter-Strike is covered in cheaters. And the title didn't say anything about cheaters. It just said Shroud goes back to Counter-Strike in the first time in years or whatever. So I watched it. In the first 2 games he was in, there was 2 blatant cheaters. And it's this thing where modern, especially FPS games, but modern every game, basically, don't kid yourself. There's people cheating Rocket League and MMOs and everything you can imagine. With cheaters freaking everywhere. Something that has ruined, it's a weird sentence, whatever, is defeat. Because it often feels like
there's a built-in excuse for everything.
Yes. So if you don't think that people are cheating, or if they're probably not, then it's like, oh man, that guy's really good. I want to watch this replay and try to learn from them.
Right.
But if it's I don't know, there's usually at least one cheater per lobby, then it's like, nah, that guy's just cheating. Screw that guy. And it loses a lot of the interesting nature of losing, if that makes sense.
How do you get motivation from loss if the competition was never fair?
How do you get a rival?
Yeah.
Back when there was dedicated servers and you jump on a server and there was always that freaking guy who'd
get you every time.
Yeah. And then you train and you get better and you beat that guy and then it feels good. That type of stuff is just kind of gone from cheating. And I think something that they're dodging here, to bring it back to Super SNES, Super ZSNES, is they're saying no vibe coding. So if it comes out and it has a bug, you don't get to go, it's probably just modern AI junk spaghetti code.
Right.
Because they're saying no.
No, if there's a bug, it's because we haven't fixed that yet.
That part I think is kind of cool.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Want to pick a topic?
Sure. What do we got here? Sony finally responds to PlayStation DRM panic, says only a one-time license check is needed, no 30-day requirement. This was confusing if you weren't on top of this news because you're a PC person. There was a mysterious 30-day license timer showing up on PlayStation digital games purchased after March 2026's firmware update. So people were freaking out, what is this 30-day thing? Modders on Twitter spotted it first, but things spiraled when PlayStation's own AI support chatbots told users that they'd lose access every 30 days unless they were online, which is just not true, to be clear. But that's just what the chatbot said. Brilliant. With nobody sure what was real, players started just testing stuff, trying to see what was going on. YouTuber SpawnWave pulled his PS5 CMOS battery to simulate a timer expiring and watched his brand new digital purchases just refuse to load with a license error.
Nice.
What actually happens if you miss the window is that the game stops working until you connect back to the internet. It doesn't delete it or get revoked permanently or anything like that. Once you're back online, access is restored. And I believe once it does that actual check-in, you do get a permanent token. Sony says that if you launch the game once while connected, a one-time check kicks in and the 30-day timer won't apply at all ever again. It's fine.
Okay.
But testing from Reset Era user and Shrew found it's not quite that simple. There appears to be around a 15-day delay before the console actually converts your temporary license into a permanent one. a permanent offline one. Until that conversion happens, going offline for 30 days will lock you out. That 15-day window lines up suspiciously close to PlayStation's 14-day refund period, suggesting that this might have been an anti-fraud measure, because apparently some people were buying games, going offline, having their offline version, refunding the game.
Right.
Yeah. Sony hasn't confirmed that part, but apparently that has been happening. So, yeah, makes sense. Sony has now officially responded to GameSpot saying a one-time check is required to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-ins are required. The DRM is real, but it's not the always-online nightmare that people feared. That said, Sony rolled this out silently and let the panic build for a freaking week before saying a single thing.
As a company...
God, it's kind of annoying.
That sometimes has things fester in the community. I understand it both ways. I can understand why it seems crazy that Sony didn't say anything for a week. And then I can equally understand all the mechanisms and checks that external comms need to go through, especially in the midst of a crisis, and why it can take a while. I'm going to firmly stand on both sides. Going wide. Yes. Strong, firm stance.
I don't love this. I understand their whole trying to dodge the fraud thing.
Honestly, it seems better than Steam. And we hold Steam up on this this pillar, this pedestal.
It's better. How is it better than Steam?
Steam checks all the time.
Yeah, but if you go offline,
then it works, which is fine.
Play single player games.
Yeah, not always. They'll make you check once in a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I've never been offline long enough to notice.
As someone who, actually, it seems like it's been a little better lately, but there was definitely a period where they had cracked down on it quite a bit, and we would really run into it on set.
Can you just run the executables out of the folder?
No, because it'll still launch Steam and it'll still do a DRM check. So we'd run into this on set when we only had one copy of a game, and we'd try to pull the Ethernet cord and then launch it on the next computer, and then pull the Ethernet cord and then launch it on the next one and pull the Ethernet cord. So obviously this is not a classic use case, but I have definitely run up against this.
I haven't
many times on Steam.
I haven't done this often, but I have not ran into it opening Steam when you try to just run the executable for the game. I've had it just launch the game.
Okay, people in chat are saying they definitely do. Does it depend on the game? Because from my understanding,
definitely see it depending on the game.
It's not like GOG, where part of the deal is that there's no online DRM. With Steam, there's online DRM. It's a feature, not a bug.
I bet you it depends on the game. It depends on whether the game uses Steamworks, which is Steam's DRM. That also makes sense.
Couscous Captain says, can you keep your Steam Deck in offline mode for just a limited amount of time? Yeah, from my understanding, it'll eventually need to phone home. But correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, this is something that I ran into more before. And lately, when we've been doing the Ethernet unplug thing, now that I'm thinking about it, it's been a little more successful. TCL 987 says Steamworks and Steam DRM are independent. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of games use Steam library stuff for networking, voice chat, etc. Yeah, so it's probably going to be dependent on the game somewhat. Man, one thing that I find really annoying, as somebody who has to set up a system for travel probably more often than most people, because when I'm traveling is often when I'll have time to oh yeah, I'm going to try out the Steam controller. So I need to load a bunch of games onto a system before I go. I really, really wish there was a way to, with one button, do the pre-launch crap for every game on my system. Because if I'm if I have no internet, or I'm somewhere remote with very slow internet or whatever.
You mean installing stuff, not shaders.
Get the .NET whatever, get the redistributable whatever.
Install all dependencies.
Do your DRM check.
Yeah.
Install all dependencies, because it's become more and more of an annoyance over time how many Steam games have other launchers or have random dependencies, especially on Linux. which I've been using more lately, where they'll have to grab like Proton crap ahead of time. So if installing the game installed the game so that I just click go and it goes, I would love that. So if Valve is taking suggestions right now, that's something that I'd love to see Steam level up on ever so slightly. When I install a game, do all of it. Assume that my intention when I install a game is to play the game, not just enjoy it being in my ready to play filter. Okay, Ignacy says, as a game dev, requiring Steam is a toggle in the SDK API.
Yeah, okay.
Game either confirms Steam is open and connected on Steamworks initialization, or it doesn't. So that explains why
we've just tried to open different games.
We both would have had completely different experiences because both are true.
That makes sense. It's not like a thing I do all the time, so I wasn't super confident in it.
Awesome. Okay. We should probably do some show sponsors. The show is brought to you today by Vessi. Earlier this week, we did a fun breakdown of Valve's Steam controller, but today we need to talk about something that's even more important: a rain and moisture controller. That's right. Groan at the joke all you want, Luke.
Oh.
But Vessi makes shoes that they claim are 100% waterproof, meaning you can take back control of your dry socks. This is thanks to Vessi's Dymatex material, which also makes the shoes lightweight and easy to pack on trips. Their Weekend Neo shoes are a great choice for the spring, and their simple design means they pair great with most wardrobes. So regardless of whether it's just a commute to work, or if you find yourself caught in some spring rain out in the city, Vessi has your back. And your feet. Every pair comes with free shipping, hassle-free returns, as well as a full year warranty. So don't be like Meat Boy here. Stay dry, comfortable, and stylish. Get 15% off your Weekend Neo or Stormburst at Vessi.com/WAN Show. This is just me playing Super Meat Boy in the Steam controller video. I don't know what that has to do with Vessi's, but sure.
He like splooshes when he lands on
I guess. The show is also brought to you by Odoo. How many different applications and platforms do you and your team have to switch between in order to get a project over the line? Yeah. With our sponsor, Odoo, you can manage multiple aspects of your business all in one platform without needing to pay for a dozen different subscriptions. If you need to run a help desk to assist with solving tickets submitted by customers, Odoo's platform can sync with things like WhatsApp, email, and live chats. Or if your business team needs help tracking leads and keeping organized on potential sales opportunities, Odoo's CRM tool is there for them. They can even provide essential tools to an accounting team, like budgeting and payment tracking. And something that's really cool about Odoo is that if you need to use a single app within their suite, it's free. So use our link below to get a 15-day free trial or to book a demo with a member of their team to learn how Odoo can help your business.
Linus, we have a guest.
We have a guest?
For the Floatplane announcements.
For the Floatplane. You just don't trust us to do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, come on, Sammy.
What is this? First. Do the announcement first.
What is this?
Do the announcements first. What's happening right now?
You want us to do the read?
Dan, point at him. Show how he's being weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He's like holding a monitor.
Yeah. Look at that guy.
What's up with that?
Look at that guy.
I don't understand what's happening
What's
right
he doing?
If you read the document, you'll know.
He's up to something.
All right, I'm going to read the document. I'm reading the document. You know what the L in Linus stands for? Oh, there's a lot of Floatplane exclusives about me this week. In the first video, Sammy gave me such a wonderful welcome back gift to welcome me back to the office. He will be fired for this injunction. Okay, so first of all, Sammy, that's not really what injunction means.
Is it not?
No.
Oh. It's about vibes.
And second of all, you're not fired.
Allegedly.
Okay. Anyway, this is the video. People really loved this video on Floatplane. I came back to work and my entire office had been gift wrapped. To this day, this is still how I feel about it. Anywho, and if PC building is more your style, I went head-to-head against Elijah, Jordan, and Pancrats to see who can build a PC the fastest at Linus Media Group. Wow.
Did any of you wear a horse head?
Dude, you filmed that ages ago. That video is just coming out.
It took forever to
We
edit.
we should do a video on who's the fastest to edit a video at Linus Media Group, because I think you
This
would
was
not be in good shape
4
there.
hours and 8 POVs I had to edit. And then I have to do other stuff.
What kind of videos are you editing with the POVs? Sick.
Huh?
You disgust me. Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, so that exclusive went up very recently. Oh yeah, you guys are loving this one too.
We just uploaded that today.
Okay, I'm not going to scroll down to the comments because I feel like it's going to be somewhat debatable who won. So it's probably going to come down to commenters to decide who did it best. What else is going on Floatplane? To wrap it up, we've uploaded the full interview with the creator of Pop! OS, Carl Rochelle. That's pretty cool. Tech Quickie has been doing a ton of interviews with interesting people lately, so if you want to hear more from our special guests, we'll be uploading them to Floatplane. Very cool. Check out the sea of exclusives at lmg.gg/fpwan. And don't forget, guys, that now is a better time than ever to subscribe to Floatplane, because at the Supporter Plus tier, you'll be getting a lower threshold for ShipStorm free shipping. Now, Sammy has a special show and tell for us.
What do you want, Sammy?
You can't get mad at me, Linus.
Hold on. You're telling me I can't get mad at you?
Can I stand here?
Yeah.
You can stand anywhere
Just
you
don't
want.
touch the foils.
Okay. So you know.
You don't have a mic here though. Did we?
Is it? No, this was last minute. I forgot you're not here next week. That's why.
Okay.
So you know the chair you bought with David.
Oh, you mean
Yes,
the
the
hold
gun
on.
chair.
Yeah, hold on.
Yes.
I'll bring this up so people.
decommissioned machine gun chair.
Yes, that one. So
Here, this was yesterday's video. It has actually one of my favorite intros that we've done in quite a while. Okay, that wasn't it.
What are you watching? What are you?
There we go. No, we're good. We're good. But this is a gaming chair. So you can, yeah. So we had.
I love David crawling. So funny. But anyway, so
Solid effort, David.
I'm not trying to take too much time today. But,
Okay.
so I promised I would daily drive that thing for 30 days.
I
on
did
Floatplane.
not approve that.
I
The
approve.
ergonomics are like not
Oh, yeah,
safe
it's
in my
horrible.
opinion.
Is this a good monitor, you think?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Do you like that monitor?
So the lumbar, I agree, is bad. So I was trying
Yeah.
to adjust it.
Yeah.
Did you know that thing has no limiters? It broke.
Sammy.
You can see my hand here when I physically try to stop it. It did not stop. There's no limiter on that chair.
Yes, I know.
I didn't know that. So then it broke. I'm sorry. I felt so bad. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but I record for Floatplane, so you'll see my reaction on there, where you see the horror in my face as I try to save this monitor.
Oh,
my God.
It's mangled.
That's deep.
It
I
went
didn't
like,
actually realize.
you know, like the keyboard like plate. It went through it.
Did
was
it occur
scary.
to you to stop it not with your
No,
hand, like by
I
pressing
did.
the button?
So the button wasn't responsive. It wasn't being
Oh,
responsive.
the
It wasn't
one
responsive.
remote doesn't like work.
Yeah, I didn't know
You
that.
have to use the other. Did you think to watch the video
I
before?
did. I watched most of it through. I was like, I know enough, and then I didn't know this.
You are the problem.
I know I'm the problem.
Okay, Linus would have just read the comments.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and through reading the comments, I would have known all the critical information that he didn't have. I will die on this hill. You are better off reading all the comments on a video than like watching the first 30% of it.
I watched 50%.
I still maintain you're better off reading the comments on a video than watching only half of it.
But I am sorry. But I have my reaction on Floatplane next week, so we're getting some content.
Okay, all right.
You know
thank
that crazy expensive computer you built for him? I feel like you have to take the value of this monitor out of that computer somehow.
They took away my GPU already.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
I stood up for you.
I know you did. I appreciate it.
You saw me stand up for you. I said they shouldn't take it away. You know why they took it? Your department.
Oh, get on.
Yeah, now I beef with you.
Get
Yeah.
on.
Let's get him, Linus.
Get owned.
Yeah. I don't
Get
think
owned.
the two of us could take it.
With this broken monitor, maybe. I just might. It's
All
very
right.
durable.
All right. Thank you, Sammy.
It's very
I'm very
durable.
sorry. I'm very
Yeah.
sorry. I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
Oh man, that's a really nice monitor.
I know. I'm sorry.
What's the model? That's not the 4K one, is it?
It's like 800 Canadian. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. I'm sorry. I feel so bad.
What monitor is it?
It's an Alienware something.
You know that you're the one holding it who can see the model number, right?
That's we're gonna have to
is
do
it on
better
here?
than that.
Yeah, it's always on there.
It's going to drop
Man,
it.
see,
I mean, that's fine at this point.
Sammy's one of those guys that we make a video with him, and then half the comments are like, "Why does this guy even work there?"
You're getting
I
glass
promise
on the ground.
he's really good at other things.
Wait, where's the model?
He is.
Oh, Alienware 2725Q, October 2025.
Okay, I
I'm
think that's the
sorry.
1440p
Oh my
one.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it is 4K.
I'm so sorry. Wait, how much does it cost? It's 500 US, right? Oh my god! No way! Oh my god! Is it really?
That's the first one I saw.
This is a 240 hertz 4K. Yeah, this is like top of the line.
Holy crap!
QD OLED, like one of the best monitors on the market.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I
I'm
honestly
so
had
sorry.
no idea. When you showed me, I thought it was just like some random junk monitor. I had no idea. I had no clue.
We got like really nice monitors, and we had that like sick Alienware, sick Alienware gaming PC on it. It was like that was like peak gaming, other than the lumbar support and the headrest.
But aren't you glad I'm okay? I didn't get hurt.
Actually, yes, that would have been worse.
Did you get blood on the monitor?
You got my hand on it. See this hand sign shows war. I went.
love that he shows-
Or it shows that you were like banging in the depths of a steamship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
That's another possibility.
Stop!
That's not the kind of banging I meant, but sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He's never seen Titanic. This is the problem with the kids today.
I watched. Oh, no, mind. Sorry. Anyways, I don't want to take too much time. But
All right, thanks, Sammy.
Sorry.
Hasn't
I'm
seen
sorry, I'm sorry.
Titanic. Hasn't seen POV. Like, who is this guy?
That's more expensive than any monitor I've ever owned. Just a random fun fact.
That might be worth more than every multi-monitor setup you've ever owned. 1300 CAD?
Probably. And I run 3 pretty good monitors.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think it is actually.
I think so.
That's wow. I honestly had no idea. He showed me in the lab and I was like, okay. I mean, losing a monitor like sucks because we just always need monitors, but I'm sure it's just like some random generic monitor. I had no idea it was an Alienware. I had no idea it was high end at all.
No, it's the highest of end. It's like full downward dog high end. Is downward dog the one where your butt's in the air?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I was thinking child.
It doesn't get much more high end than that.
Upscale.
All right. Well, subscribe to Floatplane so Sammy can continue to do the things he does.
Oh.
No, he does really good stuff too, I promise.
Dude, that's a lot.
All right, let's move on. Let's pick another topic. Hey, really cool LTT Labs article this week.
Yeah, let's talk about that instead.
We know it can be daunting to take your first steps into the world of Linux. We know this because we've been doing it recently. But LTT Labs is here for you. This article from Nick, tested by Sean and Steven, is we tried popular Linux gaming distros. I have not read this one yet because it just went up, but I am very excited to. This went up like 2 days ago, so Luke can maybe summarize for us.
We had some. Well, yeah. We're kind of benchmarking a bunch of gaming distros, and there's tests if you go down. There's standard labs charts with different games and how the different distros did, and as you might expect, they're pretty similar because it kind of goes that way every time. But we still looked at stuff. Kashi did pretty good. Let's go, Kashi.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. I managed to pick the one that's bad. Specifically for Doom the Dark Ages. The other games, it was
if we
close.
do another Linux iSwitch challenge in the future, you should just have to use whatever I pick.
No, that's less interesting.
No.
I think it's really important to have the conversation around what information a normie is likely to be exposed to.
No, that's true. That's true.
That to me is whether I end up making the right choice or the wrong choice is actually a fundamentally important part of the Linux challenge, and I intentionally will not just ask people.
Yeah.
We even said this in the first episode. I could literally call Linus Torvalds.
Yeah.
Literally have his digits and ask him what distro to use, but I'm not doing that.
The only thing that really surprised me, and this would have led you to a distro that I didn't even recommend, but
yeah.
I had a gut feeling that you were going to go with what he said he used.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In the video you guys did together.
Yep.
That's what I thought you were going to do.
No. So my part of my method is that I'm looking at the entire switching experience. And part of the switching experience is going out there and fact finding.
Yeah.
And so, when the community kind of comes and goes like, he did the fact finding wrong because he found the wrong conclusion, what we need to do is we need to look at, okay, what are all of these resources and why are they recommending this thing if quote unquote everyone knows that it's like not good? And honestly, we've already seen some positive change.
Every time, yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where maybe I just accept my role as the bearer of bad news and the reality check for people who are so knowledgeable that they don't realize what they know, I guess, is probably the best way that I could describe it. It's like a curse of knowledge thing. To a lot of Linux community members, they don't realize how easy it is to make the wrong choice because to them it's so obvious. They know the right people to ask. They know the right resources to look at. But to someone to whom it's not obvious, who's coming into it for the first time, it's very easy to end up on a different path.
And honestly, I do find this pretty interesting because I didn't initially use chat. I've used ChatGPT to try to figure out things that are going on with my system, but I didn't use it to pick my distro at all. But you did, and it spat out Pop! OS, and then I did to see if mine would as well. And it was one of the options. I don't remember if it was number one, but it was one of the options. I don't
think it was number one.
But it was there.
I thought number one was Cashy for you.
I don't remember. I
thought
it was like OpenSUSE or something.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
But this time, I just did this sitting here right now, not logged in, so it's not tailored on me. And best overall experience, Pop! OS. So like, we can say whatever we want, but a ton of people
will use this.
Yes. Yeah.
And people can be like upset about that, right? You can be upset about that. You can think they shouldn't use it, but. And I said this in episode 1. If I am trying to be representative of Joe Gamer, who's doing my own research today, and I didn't ask a chatbot, I'd be doing a complete disservice. That would be a completely unrealistic assumption that they would not use a chatbot because so many people are using them. And we know this. This is just a fact that we don't have to like, but we do have to deal with. We've got to deal with the fact that when Luke typed in what Linux distro should I use and then closed his tab right as I was about to switch back to his screen, it out Pop! OS.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I never
Nobara and a couple other things, but it said best overall was Pop! OS.
I never actually switched off of Pop! OS on my desktop. I don't know if I ever actually acknowledged that on WAN Show.
I don't feel like I realized that.
I kept it because I did the vast majority of my Linuxing on my other machines, which were not running Pop! OS. I was running SteamOS on the Media PC, and then I was running Kubuntu on my laptop, which I actually ended up mostly really happy with. There were some issues, we'll talk about those. But I didn't actually end up using my desktop that much. And for the limited amount that I did use it, Pop! OS not only was usable, but it actually got better over the entire course of the challenge.
Someone in chat said, I asked the LLM search and Ubuntu and Mint was number one. I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. I should just ask search, which I never do.
Yeah.
But I should just do that. And it's the exact same output. No bar project. I am specifying I'm switching to Linux from Windows.
And that's where a lot... So a big part of why it recommended Pop! OS for me was that I laid out what my requirements were.
Yeah.
And a huge part of the residual sort of branding for Pop! OS is that it's really good for people with NVIDIA GPUs who want a turnkey gaming experience and are coming from Windows. That's the identity of Pop! OS. And also that it's not just for gaming. Like that's the kind of like branding in a nutshell for Pop! OS.
I think first of all, I think a lot of people have labeled me as like the Linux guy here, which I think is just not.
It's not true, but you're definitely you definitely had more familiarity going into it than either.
Oh no, I'm just trying to qualify my next statement as like I probably don't know as much about this as some of you seem to think that I do. But in my experience, the whole better NVIDIA driver native stuff is like,
Yeah, no, I know.
That
no,
hasn't been a thing for me in like a long time. I think that's an old, and it's everywhere. So like it was talked about a lot in the past, but I think we're kind of past that problem. At least in like everything I've used, like Mint is much more casual and has no problem with NVIDIA drivers. Mint for me can switch between Intel and NVIDIA graphics for like performance or battery saving setups and stuff, and just has no problem with it. Like I don't think that's a modern problem. Just as a note for anyone watching, I wouldn't get too scared about the NVIDIA on Linux thing. It's really not as big of a deal as it was before.
Tim000x3 says, okay, here's my counterpoint, Linus. Joe Gamer is actually going to also watch LTT, so they're going to say, Linus has a lot of problems with Pop! OS and probably not use Pop! OS now. Are you taking that into account? Well, I can't at the time. There's a bit of a like temporal issue with your argument, because at the time that I selected Pop! OS, I had not yet made a video finding out that Pop! OS was problematic for me now. So it's, yeah. So,
and also the ChatGPT user base versus Linus Tech Tips viewers.
So the ChatGPT user base is this big, and the Linus Tech Tips viewer base is this big.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about this a fair bit, but I think our regular viewers, especially our WAN Show viewers, overestimate the importance of us. And I'm flattered. I appreciate that.
If people that I game with figure out what I do, the most common question I get is, what pre-build should I buy? Because I'm not into this stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
It was astonishing to me, I think much less so you, but it was astonishing to me to figure out how massive the pre-built market was. I thought some of these companies were just kind of small. They've existed forever. Some people build computers or whatever. No, they're big. They're very big.
Yep.
They're huge. I didn't realize how much like sway system integrators had as well, because they're so massive.
Yep.
I had really no clue.
And because of how important they are, not even necessarily
build their computers, because I'm dumb.
even from a sales perspective, but from a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
Like when people are shopping for a gaming system, having your brand in everyone's configurator is in some ways like way more powerful than any reviewer that you could ever seed product to, because that's where people with a very high purchase intent are going to be seeing your brand and are going to be exposed to your product. And it's funny because for a lot of my career, I sort of took for granted my experience as a product manager and working in sales and marketing as just like, well, yeah, but like everyone knows that the enthusiast side of things is just this like, tiny little cute niche, and understands that there's actually a much larger machine here that doesn't really care about us. Yeah. But then the longer I've gone, the more I've been like, no, actually that perspective was really important in trying to frame products in a way that, because I'm one of you, because I am an enthusiast, I can see the things that are important to us, but also share the perspective that guides product decisions that we don't like.
Yeah.
And that is that 99 out of the 100 people that are purchasing it are not us and don't care. Like, okay, here's something that I know is a bugbear for you. Boring modern graphics card packaging.
Yeah.
But look at it from NVIDIA's perspective. Okay, GPU box. Here we go.
Dude, they were so cool.
Oh my god,
And
packaging.
that is so boring.
Okay,
Look at that boring box.
so
dude.
this is what they used to look like.
That's so sick.
This is what they
That's
used to look
immediately
like.
So much better, dude.
Here's what they look like.
Boring.
Here's what they look like now.
Boring.
So NVIDIA mandates that you have to have, this, and on the side, let me see if I can find a shot from the side. You've got to have certain elements. Yeah, I know, relax.
Overclocked.
Okay, here you go. So you've got to have this on the side so that no matter how it's faced on the shelf, everyone can see the G-force and the model number and, whatever. And you know what? In fairness to NVIDIA,
I'm not that against that.
I
think that's okay.
This was pretty hard to read.
Yes.
You know about this, right? This is it's like a table book. Did you order it?
No.
Remember this thing?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. I should.
Yeah. Did that ever noteworthy find from the did that ever come to life? Publisher's website for stock alerts. Overclocked, an archive of graphics card box art. Let's go. All right, this is your birthday present.
Sick. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think having some amount of standard labeling so that you can tell what thing you're buying is fine. But then beyond that, I would like it if NVIDIA would screw off. And just let people do fun stuff outside of have your we talk about it with thumbnails where there's the safety zones or whatever where okay, this isn't going to conflict with YouTube putting a timestamp or a hover over or something like that. Have those areas just be where NVIDIA has their mandatory branding. Cool, no problem. And then beyond that, have some fun with it. It's a graphics card. It's supposed to do fun things.
Somehow we ended up here. We were talking about this article on the Labs website. Check it out at lttlabs.com. It's just up here in the feed right here. Before you ask, yes, we do have an RSS feed so that you can make sure that you see all these really cool articles that are actually coming out on a very regular basis these days.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick another topic. Oh, this is cool. Here, do you want to bring up the visuals for WaveOverhangs is a new open source slicer forked from Orca Slicer that can print, and this is wild, fully horizontal 90-degree overhangs without support material. That's what I looked like.
That's confusing. I'm not a big 3D printer Omega brain, but that's confusing to
Okay,
me.
you've got the visuals up now?
I think so.
Okay, so here, let's throw up. Okay, this is cool. Yeah, can you zoom? Zoom. Yeah, there we go. So instead of laying plastic into thin air and then just hoping for the best, okay, it generates concentric rings of material that each grab onto the cooled ring that was laid down before them in the same layer, propagating outward from the supported edge like a wave. So we're looking at the one on the right over there. So you can see that it kind of goes a little farther each time in order for that overhang to have something to grab onto.
Yeah.
This concept isn't brand new. Arc overhangs first appeared back in 2022 as a proof of concept that using overlapping circular toolpaths could achieve the same basic idea. The difference is arc overhangs were never integrated into a real slicer and required manually extracting coordinates, running a separate script, and then pasting the G-code back into your sliced model.
Wave paths do look a lot more simple.
Not exactly the kind of thing that most people are going to want to bother with. WaveOverhangs, then, is the first time the technique has been built directly into a usable slicer with a GUI toggle, with tunable settings, and 2 different algorithms to choose from. It is still very experimental. There are around 20 tunable parameters and no presets yet, and warping on larger spans is a known limitation. But the developers are asking users to be part of its development and upload test prints to a community gallery at waveoverhangs.com to help figure out what settings work best across different printers and materials. So be part of the change you want to see in the world. Let's have a look at some stuff from the gallery. Oh, how cool is that?
Wow.
Right?
That's pretty sweet. Oh, I like it. Less supports should mean less wasted plastic.
More warping observed.
It's always...
Hold on a second. No, wait a second. Oh, wait, what am I looking at here? This looks like a... No, forget this one. Hold on. Let's find what... Yeah, here we go. Okay, that's an overhang and a half. That's wild. Being able to print that, like, yeah, not perfect, but like, that's crazy. There's the print bed right there. Ba-bip, a-ba-bip, a-ba-bip, ba-bip, ba-bip. Man. Dang 3D printing. You crazy.
Look at that green one.
Look at this. Best print so far on this very challenging test print. Pattern zigzag. Wow.
So there's definitely some warping.
Oh yeah. But like this is how these things get to the point where it's like click and forget.
Am I wrong that this would even just be a good idea to do even if you did have some supports to help stop the warping? Because wouldn't it be stronger once you remove the supports as well? Or am I just totally tripping?
Possibly.
Because what I'm seeing in the demo imagery, the thing that was most interesting to me, I'm going to jump over to mine.
Look at that.
Oh wait, we can look at that for a second.
Look at this,
cool,
Luke.
Man.
Look at this.
It is cool.
No supports, Luke.
That's pretty wild.
That's crazy. This is the
wild.
base, guys, for context. This is what was stuck to the base of the print bed. Yeah. So this gives us a look at what it looks like from the bottom. Like,
so what
that's
what
cool.
I'm seeing here is like in these example images, the detached lines here, just removing those and making it so that your path is all the way from back here. So you have all the strength from back here on these these parts here, which seem like they might be more breakable. I don't know. I'm not 3D printer brain guy, but it seems like potentially using wave paths in combination with supports, if you can't afford to have any deformation, could be a cool option for strength. I don't know.
James Unknown says, I've been 3D printing for years now, my own business now, and this is huge. Not just saving material, but also what Luke is saying. I can see that being way stronger.
Cool. Okay. Sweet.
Very cool.
I mean, that seems awesome to me because you might even end up with a combination of both. You might not need as much support if it's not going to be as big of a problem. So you can save some material and it can be stronger. Like, what a win.
All right, I got a funny one. Qualcomm's stock surges in response to a report that it could make chips for an OpenAI smartphone. And then it lost much of those gains on subsequent trading days. According to a report from well-known tech analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, OpenAI is working on its own smartphone in an effort to compete with the iPhone, with mass production targeted for 2028. Kuo, yeah, we'll get to it. Just a sec. Hold on. Relax. Kuo says that OpenAI has partnered with chipmakers Qualcomm and MediaTek to develop the smartphone's processors, with Luxshare handling system co-design and manufacturing. The phone will reportedly have no apps and be a completely agentic workflow, whatever that means. This is another in a handful of hardware products. Hold on, contain yourself. This is another in a handful of hardware products that OpenAI has announced but not yet released, including earbuds and that HomePod-style smart speaker that Johnny Ive is reportedly working on. Okay, go.
First of all, just Flatline used no brain power, had a thought, sounds terrible. I would never want to buy this. Oh my God. Okay, diving a little bit more into things. It uses no apps. Dang, that sucks a lot. So much of what I'm going to need to do is using apps on my phone. Hopefully I'm not just like, you know, that old guy that gets clipped in the future when people are like, well, obviously we didn't need whatever. But at least right now, this seems genuinely bad. Also, isn't it called apps when you add like functions to agentic systems? Like when
what does app even mean?
When
it used to be short for application.
This is kind of what I mean.
Now it's developed. It's kind of its own meaning. I don't know what to tell you.
When they added Wolfram Alpha as a thing to OpenAI's agentic mode, was it not an app? It could be called skills too, skills and tools. Sure, whatever. Sounds good. Other than the product sounds terrible.
Remember that time that Facebook wanted to make a phone?
Yeah.
Remember how nobody wants or needs a phone that is not at least a walled garden ecosystem that is accepting of pretty much everything else running on it as a platform? Can you think of any reason to want this over a phone from someone with decades of experience building hardware like Apple?
The Western world is still going to want iPhones, and the rest of the world is still going to want open systems that they can extend and modify and keep going long term. And this is neither. And I don't think it's going to breach the market basically anywhere. Maybe it'll be popular for sales in San Francisco, and that's probably about it.
So it's the smartphone for tech bros and tech bros only. Whoa. Okay, do you want to hear something kind of wild?
There's more viewers on
the WAN Show channel than there are on the Linus Tech Tips channel. I think it's going to be time to cut it off pretty soon. Guys, if you're watching on Linus Tech Tips right now, you got to go switch over to the WAN Show channel.
We got to figure out that collaborative thing.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way to go, like, moving forward.
Yeah, like a collab stream. So we stream on the WAN Show, and then
we just collab with LTT.
Collab for a while. I don't think we should do it forever, because I don't want to be sending notifications on both forever. I think we should move to WAN Show sooner rather than later.
I don't think it will if you're subscribed to both. I think YouTube is smart about that.
I also don't want to let people get complacent about it. They should subscribe to the WAN Show in order to continue to follow the WAN Show. So get on.
Think you can do it for streams?
Get on over there.
Really, Sammy? YouTube collabs.
All right, moving on to our next topic. I'm going to pick one. Maryland has become the first American state to ban surveillance pricing in grocery stores. Critics do say that the law has too many loopholes, but look, let's start with the good news side of it. The law was signed by Governor Wes Moore on Tuesday and bans grocers and third-party delivery services from using personal data to set higher prices. If you're not familiar, surveillance pricing is a practice that uses some characteristic of yourself, like your zip code, for instance, or your ethnicity, or just any personally identifiable personal information about you, and uses it to adjust the pricing upward because of what you can presumably afford.
There's some camera thing, and it's like, oh, white people like broccoli. Let's increase the price of broccoli.
Pretty much. It doesn't have to be a racial thing, but
it could be.
Let's face it.
It could be.
Whether we want it to go to a race place or not, it often ends up there.
They'll put it behind some machine learning thing and call it a black box and say they have no control over it.
Sorry, what kind of box?
Oh my God. I think you're more intimately familiar than me.
No. Listen. Colorado, California, Massachusetts, Illinois, and New Jersey are all considering similar bills. But while this is a win, consumer advocates are saying that Maryland's law is full of loopholes. The biggest one is that it bans raising prices based on personal data, but doesn't stop companies from raising prices for everyone, then offering personalized discounts that ultimately arrive at the exact same outcome. There are also exemptions for loyalty programs and promotional offers, which are some of the main vehicles that companies already use to do this. And there's no private right of action, meaning that regular consumers can't actually sue if they get caught up in surveillance pricing. Only the state attorney general can enforce it, which critics say guts any real deterrent. So it's a little bit of progress in that we're finally talking about the issue. We're acknowledging the issue, but it's very clear that there is a lot more that needs to be done. And I mean, personally, I would just love to see this happen across the board. You know, why are airline operators allowed to do this?
actually crazy.
The entire vacation industry seems to operate based on this. However, I would caution that we don't want to go too far. Regional pricing on services like Steam, for example, I fundamentally support.
So this shouldn't be able to be done within a country. Is that fair enough?
I think that's a fair line to draw. Let's use those arbitrary lines on the map, and let's make those the boundaries.
Would you go as far as like a province or a city?
Would I allow different pricing?
Because I'm pretty
if
sure
somebody
there
had
is different
Alberta
pricing.
plates on.
Oh, right, because it would have to be dynamic.
No,
it would have to be dynamic. Yeah.
No, I don't. I think,
so because my mind is like, I mean, there is different pricing for like, say, milk in Alberta versus here.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be because of where you're from or because of who you are.
It shouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fucked up. Especially because it incentivizes these organizations to then collect the data on everybody.
Yeah.
And then whether or not they actually use it, I mean, a lot of they're going to use it
you
anyway.
You can set your pricing. There might be market factors. It might be more expensive to get trucks to wherever you are. Maybe you're way north in Canada or something. It's just a fact. But you can't change it based on who's in the store. Yeah, obviously. That seems like it should just happen.
Fools and Horses says, Linus, do you collect any trends or data from LTTStore? Where does the line get drawn? You know what? This was actually something that...
We don't use that to target pricing for specific users, though.
No, we don't. But Colton had actually messaged us about like what we do and don't collect on LTTStore and like where we think the right line would be. I don't know if we ever actually talked about that on WAN Show. I can't find the email from him right now. But do you remember the one that I'm talking about? They're trying to figure out like what would be an LMG friendly level of like cookies and data collection to determine whether some of the marketing efforts that his team is doing are actually working. Because right now we do some limited data collection, but there are pieces of it that would be very helpful to them that right now they don't have enough to get a clear picture. For instance, like one of the things they were looking at was like conversion of people on Floatplane for subscriptions and stuff like that. What's the right amount?
The Floatplane one was a pretty big line because we don't have a banner for stuff like that because we don't do like any of it. So we were like, we'd have to do
like a GDPR, and like a cookie banner and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we just didn't do it.
Etzim says I avoid ads at a very high cost. Yeah, we're not talking about ads though. We're talking about
different forms of tracking.
Yeah.
Because like it's there are also other ways to do it though. And that was the counter pitch from Floatplane.
So how do we do it?
You can have it so that it's a link and like where did the URL come from?
Yeah.
So we can't track it on like an individual user basis, but we can see like this many people clicked this link and this many people that clicked on that link did follow through and purchase a description. Now someone could screw that up for us because they could click on the link and then like navigate somewhere else manually, and that manual navigation might get rid of the URL. Like there are other ways to do it. They're not perfect, but neither is aggressive cookies that you're also feeding to Facebook or whoever else because you're running it through their systems. It's another thing to keep in mind. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's leave it alone for now, and then we'll go from there, I guess. I don't know, man. I understand why his team wants to do this stuff, but I also understand the hesitation.
But like I said, there are other options. It's not like we're saying. I mean, we might have said no at the time because we're such a small team. We can't just do everything all the time. But there's ways that you can track how well that campaign is working without being able to tie it down to a specific user.
Okay.
Like it is possible. You can have flags in the URL that follow the process. And if one of those like URL flagged people that goes through, does a purchase.
Yep.
It's just holding tallies. Okay, so you like the advertising platform side should know how many people you served that ad to. Mm-hmm. Our side should know how many people came to the site with that in the URL. And then our side should know how many people checked out with that in the URL. And then you have your 3 data points. And like, ideally that's enough. And then we're not feeding it through Meta or whoever else.
Amaker asks, are you just putting yourself at a commercial disadvantage by trying to be ethical about this? Yes. But like, we often do. And that's something we've decided to do.
And I think that should almost potentially reflect. I'm just gonna skip.
All right, in some other cool news.
You guys can come up with your own morality on that one.
The first Tesla semi-truck from their Gigafactory Nevada high-volume production line has officially rolled off the line. The Semi is a little late. It was first unveiled in 2017 with an original promised production date of 2019. Okay, a little late. But it's here. It is worth noting, this is not the first Semi to be produced. A handful were delivered to PepsiCo in late 2022, but those were essentially like hand-built on a pilot line. This time, we're talking mass-produced units with an expected annual production capacity of 50,000 trucks, although it is worth noting that will have to ramp up over the next few years.
Doesn't mean anything.
And it doesn't mean anything because Tesla lies constantly. But this is, as far as we can tell,
it's
truthfully,
cool.
The mass production line. Yeah. These trucks have a range of 325 miles or 500 miles, depending on whether they are the standard or long-range model. And that is apparently fully loaded, though it's not clear in our notes what exactly fully loaded means. There's definitely degrees of loaded for semi-trucks. They support Tesla's Mega Charger, which is 1.2 megawatt charger. Could they not have done 1.21? They were so close. 1.21 megawatts.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
And
does it round up?
That'll restore 60% of the truck's range in 30 minutes. Cost on the long-range model, and this is what makes this Good News WAN show. Cost on the long-range model is expected to be $290,000 US. That
do we have a reference point for other semi-trucks?
Oh, they're really expensive.
I know.
They're so expensive.
That was my grandpa's
job. And like the maintenance and the dealer network and just the like old boys club of everything, the financing.
Crazy loans.
$290,000 US for something that is going to have, sure, all the disadvantages of an electric vehicle, right? Like these batteries will eventually wear out and you have to charge and blah, 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 blah. But that will also have the advantages of an electric vehicle in that you're using simple electric motors. Not simple, but relatively low maintenance electric motors. Dude, this thing looks freaking awesome. I'm like kind of stoked on it. To be clear, I don't think that the Tesla Semi is going to be taking over long haul trucking anytime in the foreseeable future.
But there's a ton of trucking that isn't long haul trucking.
Yes, and
that's okay.
And what's kind of cool about this is for semis, I can actually see the range being less of an issue, especially for companies that are somewhat integrated, where they can build in charging infrastructure at the various docks that they're going to be visiting.
Because it said 60% in half an hour, right? Mm-hmm. If you're doing an unload or load,
well, that wouldn't
you get a lot of charge.
You wouldn't have a mega charger at like your warehouse. But if every time you docked, you would be able, because I mean, you'd need, like your transformer for your warehouse building, like simply will not have that level of, unless you went out of your way. Like you're not going to have a mega charger just at the dock.
Specifically mega charger. Yeah. So I guess it won't do that rate, but still you could plug into something.
Yes, but the way that I see it is as long as this thing is charged in the morning as you're going around to, you're bottling, let's use Pepsi as an example, just because they were one of the first customers for the Tesla Semi. So you're going around to your various ports of call. You're going to like the bottling depot here. You're making some drop-offs at a distribution hub here. You're going back to the bottling depot. If at every one of those, or at some of those, at the ones that you own, you're able to plug in while things are loading and being unloaded.
Get a little bit more.
You can juice yourself up a little bit over the course of the day. And if you're mostly doing local distribution runs, this is just going to be so huge for everything from noise to urban smog to just convenience for operators. Like driving a big rig, like man, did you know that some of them have like 2 stick shifts?
I didn't know about the 2.
Yeah,
I didn't know you can like slip gears on purpose, and there's all this like
driving a truck is non-simple. If it could be one pedal driving semis, like if we could lower the barrier to entry for operating these vehicles, lower the mental load of operating them so you can be more focused on the road.
Yeah, right. The barrier of entry thing spooks me because of the amount of opened tin cans we've had in BC of people hitting bridges.
When I say lower the barrier to entry, I don't mean that we need people who are less cognitively capable operating them. What I mean is that fewer distractions.
Sure.
I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah, it seems cool. I always have like a little bit of skepticism because of their track record on being able to hit their targets and stuff like that. But these things just rolling off the line sounds great to me.
Tim asks, how about maintenance? I mean, look, a diesel engine is a super reliable engine, like a Cummins diesel that you might find in a large truck. It's going to be pretty flippin' reliable. Like those Volvo trucks, they'll do 1 million miles, Yeah. And that's not even like, whoa, you should get a free truck because it did 1 million miles. Like remember that first car, that like traveling salesman or whatever who put 1 million miles on his car and the company gave him a new one. Yeah. Like that's not even like that remarkable. But actually, okay, a Hayago Ego says diesels used to be super reliable, but now they are not as good. Interesting. Okay.
Classic.
Yeah,
many such cases.
No comment on that. I was not aware of that. From my understanding, big rigs do tend to be pretty reliable. Edison Motors. Hold on a second. But yeah, from a maintenance standpoint, I know that my experience with electric vehicles has been that it's relatively low, and I would imagine that especially on braking, these would just be so much better.
Braking on one of these must be insane.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm missing something here. Feel free to tell me if I'm missing something, but regenerative braking would be amazing for trucks, and they spend so much time idling and stuff too.
I wonder if it's just relative. I wonder if it takes so much energy to get them going that it's relative. I'm not sure.
Okay, hold on.
Either way, neat, cool.
To be clear,
see it when it happens.
Tesla's not the only player in the game. I still need to go.
Are these guys shipping?
Check out these guys.
Can you buy a semi truck from them?
Okay, so hybrid, so diesel and battery. So hybrid trucks could be a better approach to long range trucking. And Edison Motors is a company that they're doing like an investment drive right now. Like I don't know what kind of shape they're in right now. So this is not like an endorsement of the company or anything like that. I don't know enough to say one way or the other, but I do love the idea of what they're doing. VNG Supernova says, I thought semis used pneumatic braking, so regen braking wouldn't be that useful. Does the Tesla Semi not use regen braking? Generative braking. Uses powerful regenerative braking across all 3 electric motors. Yeah, regular semis do use pneumatic. A lot of them use air brakes. But no, the Tesla should be using regenerative braking. Yeah, it uses regenerative braking. So that's kind of like the whole point of the Tesla Semi, is that it is doing things differently to bring advantages that traditional semis do not. Kitsune Sensei says, most of your wishes for trucks are already reality outside of North America. This is true. Electric trucks in like I remember seeing like a crazy number. Apparently, in the last year, there were more electric trucks produced in China than the entire total addressable market, like the entire annual market for fossil fuel and electric trucks in North America.
Whoa.
So yes, electric trucks are definitely a thing, but guys, it's Good News WAN Show. Can we just let a win be a win? Okay, there's more electric trucks on the road. All right. What else we got? You want to pick one?
Sure. Let's jump through here.
Ooh. I think I know what you might pick. I'm going to be ready for it.
Is it just the next one?
Whatever you want.
Right to repair, repeal, repelled. What a title. Colorado's consumer rights continue. Kick rocks, corpos. Colorado's consumer rights right to repair digital electronics equipment law took effect in January 2026, providing access to documentation and tools to repair or modify electronics. However, a new bill was proposed that would create an exception for critical infrastructure, a term that advocates feel is too loosely defined. The bill was supported by lobbyists for Cisco and IBM and passed unanimously through the Colorado Senate. Really? But was shot down in a 7-4 vote by the Colorado House's State, Civic, Military, and Veteran Affairs Committee. The core arguments from Cisco representatives claimed that there was potential cybersecurity risks. To what? What's to stop bad actors from using those tools to reverse engineer internet routers?
I mean, lots of... Okay, carry on.
Cybersecurity experts pointed out it doesn't really work like that. The vast majority of hacks are carried out remotely, and it is more likely the victims of hacks that need to make changes on the fly without acquiring permission from manufacturers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh man, our discussion question here is there, oh, okay, no, I misread it. I thought it was wanting us to get into whether lobbying should be a thing or not. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're definitely not approaching that on the WAN Show today.
No.
I thought you were going to do this one.
Oh, where is that one?
Up a little higher.
I see it. Yeah. This week, Noctua announced that they now offer public 3D CAD models for all their fans. You can find the files directly from their product download section, just like any fan. Just find any fan, such as the classic NF-F12 PWM. Oh, one sec, go away. If you want to download a step file to check it out, Sammy might have a 3D printed one for you to check out, which is here.
Yeah. It is worth noting that this is not going to allow you to make your own Noctua fan. This fan that Luke is holding is not really a fan so much as it is a
there's no motor
model of a fan. Yeah, there's no motor in it. And Noctua says that they intentionally adjusted the geometry a little bit so that cosmetically it looks like they're fans. But if you were to 3D print your own fan and actually put a motor in it, it would not achieve the same performance characteristics. Obviously that wouldn't prevent anyone from just buying a real Noctua fan and scanning it or whatever. A sophisticated enough counterfeiter would be able to make it without this anyway. But this is more for community members to have realistic looking Noctua products in their renderings or whatever else.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool.
Sweet.
Exactly. In other sweet news, LibrePods no longer requires root for some features. So LibrePods, if you're not familiar, is a way to use AirPods on Android and have some of the Apple exclusive features accessible. The app now works without root privileges on Google Pixels, running Android 16 March update or later with the latest Play System update. Google Pixels running Android 17 Beta 3 or above. Okay, hold on, I'm a little confused by those two. Do I have a problem with my notes? Control F Pixel. Okay, well, mileage may vary on those two. OnePlus devices that are running Oxygen OS 16 and above, Oppo devices on Color OS 16 and above, and Realme devices on Realme UI 7.0 and above. You can now get the following features without root. noise control modes, ear detection, battery status, head gestures, and conversational awareness. There are a few more features that LibrePod supports, but still require root, and that's hearing aid mode, customized transparency mode, and multi-device connectivity. Honestly, they've nailed down most of the stuff that I would think I would need. The app is free on the Play Store, but does require an in-app purchase of €5 in order to unlock all functionality. I think I actually bought it a while ago. I just need to check. It's my Galaxy phone is still not on the list, but I am very, very ready to have more LibrePods goodness. Man, it's amazing how many updates like modern platforms make to make them supposedly faster, and yet they are so slow. Like I remember when
it's a lot of updates are not for speed.
YouTube updated their dashboard. They claimed it was all about speed. It is still slower than it ever was. Like the creator dashboard and like graphs and everything. Like, hello? Can I search for something? Anyway, not right now apparently. What else we got today?
Let's see. BOINC Pentathlon. The LTT BOINC team will be competing in the 7th BOINC Pentathlon running
17th.
from 17th. That makes more sense. Running from May 5th to 19th. In this event, we'll go up against other tech communities contributing computing power through BOINC to support scientific research and progress. Last year, LTT placed in 2nd overall. Our goal this year is to take home the gold. If you want to join the competition and support science, you can find the details and sign up on the thread on the forum.
Oh, I finally have a use for my computer. I'll compete this year with you guys.
Here's all the details. There will be prizes. Oh, wow, there's community donated prizes.
Yeah.
Steam keys. We're providing some prizing too, right? We better be. Well, we're on it. We'll find some prizes. Don't worry about it. Let me.
I didn't see us in there, but we usually do.
Yeah, no. We'll get it done. Heck yeah. All right, cool. Heck yeah, LTT forum.
And Xbox mode begins rolling out to players on Windows 11 PCs. Scroll. Today, Microsoft is expanding what used to be called the full screen experience on handhelds like the ROG Xbox Ally to all Windows 11 PCs, laptops, desktops, tablets, etc. Xbox mode is a full screen controller optimized interface that puts your game library front and center while minimizing background distractions. Rolling out gradually in select markets via Windows Update, you can toggle it in settings, then enter it with Windows and F11 from the game bar, or by pressing the Xbox button on a paired controller.
Yeah, so 3 different ways to activate it. Discussion question. Is Xbox mode what Windows gaming should have been all along? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the game folder from Windows Vista, but like way better. Overall, I like it-ish. In some ways, it feels like it can be a little unnecessary because my entire game library is in Steam pretty much. But if I was someone who had a game library that spanned multiple launchers to a greater degree, then yeah, having the Xbox mode experience consolidate them all would have more of a value to me.
I definitely have multiple launchers.
Yeah.
I mean,
you might like it.
I might, especially with new Assassin's Creed. Not new Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed remaster coming and stuff.
It's definitely a little bit, full of Game Pass and stuff. But you don't have to click those buttons. So,
if they're there, they'll probably annoy me.
Well, let's see. Hey, speaking of things that are there and might not annoy you, Toyota's limited edition $3,500 Crown gaming chair is here.
You know what does annoy me about this is I don't know, man. I don't fit a lot of chairs. Just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So I saw this and was like, no way. Let's go. I want the purchase page right now. And then I saw the price and I was like, well, someone will have fun with that.
It looks pretty fancy.
I love that there's actually a belt buckle.
USB-C.
I didn't notice that when I first looked at it. That is actually so funny.
Sorry, my Zoom. Wait, my Zoom is being a little funky. Here, hold on. 100%.
Yeah, why is it $3,500 though?
It's like the Crown Collection.
It's like the price of 2 monitors.
Too soon, Dan.
That's so painful.
Heating, cooling sounds pretty cool.
The cooling sounds incredible.
The cooling sounds amazing. I don't know what I would do with this.
You know what my chair at home is right now?
Charging, I guess, because it wouldn't be data. Like, it wouldn't be connected to my computer.
Don't answer that, Luke. We got a merch message for later.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
For some reason.
What's in the caboose?
Is that all the, like, is that the, like...
Oh, does it...
stuff for the
cooling
heating
from
and
there?
cooling?
The junk?
Wait, so you, like, this needs to be, like, plugged in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right, which makes sense. Yeah, heating and cooling. Wow. You know, I want to try it. Is it Japan only, though? I think it's
idea.
Japan only.
Just, you know...
There's only about 70 units being made.
Oh.
Ah, why? Man. What? Okay. My question is, if you're going to put the work into creating it, why so few? You know there's more than 70 people who'd be like, Toyota gaming chair, and just do it.
3,500?
More than 70 for sure. Come on.
Probably.
Toyota fanboys with money.
And the Toyota Crown
You know
is
they didn't
like,
spend that much on their car, so...
the Toyota Crown is one of those like super fancy cars, right?
I actually
I'm pretty sure it is.
don't know. What's a Toyota Crown?
I thought they were really nice.
Yeah, according to AI, the Toyota Crown hybrid sedan starts at around 55,000 Canadian dollars. So... No, not even. Like I said, they bought a Toyota, so they clearly didn't overpay for their car, so they can afford a fancy chair, I guess. I don't know.
Is this a plug-in hybrid? Is it?
What, the chair?
No, the car.
Oh, I'm not
Toyota
sure.
hybrid system.
If it doesn't say plug-in hybrid, then
Yeah.
it's just a regular hybrid. Powertrains, limited models, blah, blah, hybrid system, turbocharged hybrid max. Yeah, no, they're hybrid, not plug-in hybrid.
Damn.
Sorry, Luke. All right, the show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether it's a business or a hobby, if you want to share what you're doing with the world, a website goes an awful long way. And our sponsor, Squarespace, is still here to help you. You can do it yourself without the stress or headache of coding or figuring out the business aspect of running a site with Squarespace. They're like a partner that way. They've got a ton of templates to help you get started, or you can even use their design intelligence tool to create something personal by just answering a few questions about your business. You can also run your business through their platform thanks to direct invoicing with payment options like direct debit, Apple Pay, and more. And even if your brand name is followed by .com, or even if your brand name followed by .com is already taken, Squarespace can help you pick from millions of domains so you can get something that's both searchable and easy to remember. And once your site's up and running, you can keep track of its performance with a variety of analytic tools that Squarespace provides. So start building your website today and get 10% off your first purchase by visiting squarespace.com/WAN. Finally, the show is brought to you by Ninja One. If you manage more than a handful of machines, you probably know that it can be a bit of a nightmare keeping everything patched, monitored, and under control without that becoming a full-time job on its own. Well, our sponsor Ninja One lets you handle endpoint management, patch management, remote access, and what? I assume this is backup.
Must be.
From a single console. Okay, they do that, so that must be. It just says back in my notes.
Yeah.
From a single console, whether that's for Windows, macOS, Linux, servers, or mobile devices. Ninja One was built for IT teams and MSPs who were tired of metaphorically duct taping a bunch of tools together. It's been rated #1 by users across 14 IT management categories on G2 in the spring of this year, and is used by over 35,000 customers across more than 140 countries. And the best part, you don't have to take my word for any of it. You can try it for free with no credit card, no sales pressure. Just go to ninja1.com or click the link in the description to start your free trial. We've got a couple more topics still, too.
Do we?
A bank robber is trying to get out of his conviction by claiming that geofence warrants are a violation of his constitutional rights. This is down in the States. The Supreme Court is hearing this case on whether a geofence warrant violates the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable searches.
What is that?
The case, well, here, we'll get to it. The case stems from a 2019 bank robbery in Richmond, Virginia, where a man made off with $195,000. Police had no leads until they served a geofence warrant on Google, which handed over location data for every device that was in the area around the time of the robbery, which eventually led to the man's arrest when they found a bunch of cash with him. So, context of geofence warrants, if you need it, is police draw a virtual circle around a crime scene, pick a time window, and then ask a tech company like Google to hand over data on every device that was inside that circle during that time. Practical usage tends to follow these stages. Initial sweep gives police anonymized location pings and timestamps for every device within the circle, identified only by numerical IDs. Police then flag any devices that look suspicious based on movement patterns and go back to the tech company with a follow-up request to unmask those specific accounts, getting the email addresses, phone numbers, and usernames that are tied to them. In the case of Google, this data comes from Google's location history feature, which technically requires you to opt in, but most people who use Google Maps or other Google services are already sharing this information. So the plaintiff's lawyer argued that even anonymized location data acts like a type of fingerprint, since your specific movement patterns can be used to identify you. The DOJ countered that location data just represents public movements that anyone could observe, so the Fourth Amendment defense shouldn't apply. The discussion question here is that the justices seem split and generally reluctant to wade into how the Fourth Amendment operates in today's world. Ooh, this one is complicated.
Yeah, why do criminals keep bringing identifiable phones to crime scenes?
Yeah, but
that's
then also
a very complicated question that I really will never understand.
But then also, why am I able to be tracked in a personally identifiable way by something that supposedly cares about my privacy?
Yeah, I don't like that.
But then counterpoint, if you're a ne'er-do-well taking money that ultimately, we all pay for, like I'm not an American and I don't bank at that bank, so I have nothing to do with like that specific case. But at the end of the day, we all pay for crime, like societally. Do I mind if ne'er-do-wells?
Everyone there got their information flagged and taken by the government.
But then counterpoint. Yes, to Luke's point, that's exactly what the lawyer's arguing.
And who's defining how big the circle is? So what if they're like, there was a bank robbery in North Vancouver. What if we circled the entire greater Vancouver area?
Yes.
And just grabbed everything and use this data for multiple other things going on, and also so I can track my wife's phone to see if she's going somewhere that I don't like,
or
and I'm
what
not going to tell anyone that I just did that.
What if there was no bank robbery? What if there was a protest?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it can become a tool for government crackdown. I actually do not envy the Supreme Court justices as they navigate this one. To be clear, I have no pity for Buddy who got busted stealing a bunch of money from a bank. Just desserts. However, the methods do matter if you want to even maintain the branding of having a free society. And this one is complicated.
They're just exercising their freedom to all of your information and data and knowing where you are all the time.
That's what you think freedom is.
It's just freedom. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, freedom is she's a complicated concept. I read a really interesting essay recently on the ways that the word and the concept of freedom have been kind of perverted from the way that a lot of people kind of intended them in the creation of sort of the Western model of free society.
Sure.
And how they've become kind of divorced from the responsibilities that accompany that freedom. and how we're not sure if that freedom will survive an unwillingness to also exercise the freedom responsibly and be a part of that functioning free society. It's a really interesting essay. I wish I could find the link for you guys, but yeah, fascinating. It doesn't come to a conclusion because it's complicated.
Archangel of Death said, as the saying goes, your freedom ends when the freedom of the big corporation and government starts, or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Just so that everyone's clear, Archangel of Death meant that with a big fat /S, okay? Relax.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, but...
Your freedom to have your IP not ripped off just got obliterated by every single AI company on the planet.
Well, yes.
Oh.
Luke, it's Good News WAN Show.
Oh, right. Okay.
Calm down.
Next topic.
Android developers are revolting against Google's 2026 sideloading registration mandate. Starting September 2026, Google is fundamentally changing how sideloading works on Android. Right now, installing an app from outside the Play Store is as simple as downloading an APK and tapping install. Sort of. You have to enable unknown developers, whatever, but sort of. Under the new rules, every developer, even hobbyists and open source contributors who never touch the Play Store, must register with Google, verify their identity with government-issued ID, register their app signing keys, agree to Google's terms, and pay a $25 fee. If they don't, their app gets silently blocked from installing on any certified Android device. Google says that power users can still install unverified apps, but the new advanced flow requires enabling developer mode by tapping the build number 7 times, navigating through multiple setting screens, and waiting out a mandatory 24-hour cooling off period. Over 37 organizations, including the EFF, F-Droid, Proton, Nextcloud, and the Tor project have signed an open letter demanding that Google reverse course. F-Droid calls the mandate existential since its entire model relies on volunteer and pseudonymous developers who have no reason or desire to register with Google. The rollout starts in Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand with a global expansion planned for 2027. Custom ROMs like Graphene OS and Lineage OS are unaffected. Discussion question. If installing an app on your own phone now requires a 24-hour waiting period in developer mode, can Google still call Android an open platform?
I mean, I think they can still call it whatever they want, but is it one? I don't know. I think this is something that would kind of push me to do the same thing I'm doing with Linux right now on my phone, which is just try alternative options.
Let me pitch you some food for thought. With this change, would you be more comfortable recommending an Android phone for your grandpa or grandma?
No.
Really? I would. Straight up. 24-hour waiting period for random APKs, the way that scams work? Zero question. Now, does that mean that I support the move? Not necessarily. I see lots of problems with it. But I also can see a good faith argument for why Google wants to unmask developers on the platform. And they are still offering a way that you can install anything.
But you know what I would like?
A 24-hour waiting period would functionally kill the oh yeah, grandpa, just go here and install this and click through this and click through this. I'll wait on the phone with you while you dump all of your life savings into an account.
A lot of those scams are multi-day long.
Okay, not all.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
It would make it so much more work.
Yes, it definitely would. I would like to see this as a feature that is like family management controllable.
Interesting. So like a fleet management feature. But okay, so here's my question though, because who is the administrator of that though? Like as a head of family, like techie dude, I hear that and I go, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. That's how I would manage it through Family Link, and I would do this and I would do that. But most people's structure is not necessarily like that. Like this is one of those ones where on the surface, I can see
this feels like sacrificing freedom for security in a way that I do not like.
It does.
But I think if you put that in the power of users, yeah, you'll still lose some people because they're not going to have that type of person in their family or whatever. But in my experience of my grandpa living far away in a retirement village, effectively, there was like an IT person thing. I don't even know what I would call it. It was like the person that everyone in that town, because it was a pretty sprawling area, but it was and everyone had their own homes and stuff, but it was a retirement focused area. I don't even know. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what it is.
Retirement community? Sure.
And I don't know if this person's shop was like on site in that community or not, but like just everybody knew who he was. And he had a particular way of dealing with everyone, which was actually like kind of neat. Because it was like the only person everybody really used. Word of mouth was everywhere. That like if you were if your laptop was screwed up, you just exchange you and then fix yours and like sell it to somebody else or whatever. Like he was pretty good about just like keeping people going.
Okay.
And he had basically like TeamViewer on everyone's systems, which I know, but he could tap in if he like needed to help you with something, because there would often be like, oh, there's something going wrong with whatever.
That's what Archangel of Death says. 24 hours is enough time for my elderly family members to call me just to check if they're doing the right thing. I'm still fundamentally against it for other reasons. And I think that actually summarizes sort of where I'm at right now. I haven't had a lot of time to think about it.
My reason for this very long story
is
whoever that dude was could maybe enable this thing for these people.
God, but he was a good actor. What if he wasn't?
Yeah.
Then disaster. And
I mean, if you're not a good actor and you're in that dude's position, this 24-hour window will not stop you.
This is true. Fools and Horses has a really good point and asks the question, has Android gotten so large that the risk of being called negligent for allowing these things and for not putting obstacles in the way is greater than the risk of their disgruntled customers over this loss of freedom, loss of openness? How much of the market would they really lose? And I think that's got to be the question that Google's asking themselves as they navigate this decision. And I suspect the answer for how many people they're going to lose is extremely small.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying that I support the decision. I'm just saying that that's the reality, is that most people are not even watching the WAN show, not even aware of this, would have never sideloaded an APK anyway, unless some rando told them to do it, in which case this was probably a thing. So G-Freak asks, why is this also require... Oh, okay, sorry, they're responding to someone else. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, Ann M. White says it won't be zero, but yeah, it will be small. Leaving one's most experienced OS and just like switching is like kind of a pain. Like honestly, that's why Yvonne's still on iOS. Not because she prefers it, but just after she did the iPhone challenge, she's just like, switching phones is such a pain in the butt. It really is. And just, I do think it's going to be pretty negligible. R. Comian says, leave to what? iOS? I mean, Graphene OS is an option. iOS? I saw cool, this was cool. This was not really good news enough to be Good News WAN Show, but Windows Phone, Android launcher. Someone is working on or made, apparently this is old. Just an Android launcher that like looks a lot like Windows Phone, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, that's it. That was a little highlight for that. I don't think we're going to reach a conclusion on this one because I don't think that it's cut and dried.
It's not simple.
I do appreciate Google's position that they are still allowing sideloading with these caveats. And for me, for my use of Android, the handful of times that I've needed to sideload, this would have been good enough. This would have been a minor inconvenience.
Where does the slope end?
Are we on the slippery? So,
and I can't tell. I don't know that we are. I'm not trying to claim necessarily that we are.
I don't either.
There are times where I have been like, this is a slope. I don't know that this one is, but it smells like one.
Well, okay. In a vacuum, I would push back. If this was the only change that Google had made to Android over the last 5 years, then I'd be like, Luke, come on.
Yeah.
They've been good stewards. They've done this. They've done that. In the context of everything that Google has done, though, with Chrome and with Android, with their products in general over, the last while, it's a lot harder for me to do that. They've lost my trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it. Is like there was a time when Google might have done this and said, "Trust me, bro, I got you," and I would have said, "Okay."
I would have. I still have a little bit of that with them, but not as much as before. I feel like they. Let's check in on Killed by Google. I feel like they've been slowing down, but I'm not sure. Okay, so 2026 and beyond is these.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually not that much.
Compared to, 2024 being like, what, all of this?
The post-COVID time was a time of a lot of consolidation for the big tech companies.
God.
Team sizes shrank, projects were abandoned. It wasn't just Google at that time. Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah, Google is like the corporate embodiment of throw things at the wall and see what sticks, man.
Yeah.
And this next After Dark segment is the embodiment of throw questions at us and producer Dan. He's a Rubbermaid bin shelf now. Oh, there he is. Throw questions at us and see what sticks.
I have become square. Let me get us changed over After Dark. And I have to push this button too. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. I was unprepared.
You good?
Hey, LLD. I've been thinking about this lately. Badminton is super popular around the world, but most pro players, aside from the very top, don't seem to make nearly as much as athletes in other big sports.
I think about this a lot. So take this for the semi-informed rant that it kind of is. I think it's a number of problems. And I think that BWF, so Badminton World Federation, is doing some things right to address it. For instance, they actually just recently changed the scoring format. So in the olden days, so I guess this ended in the 90s or early 2000s, I think, badminton was done with service point. So that is that you can only score a point when you begin the rally with the serve. Okay, so it was service point, sets of 15, and then best of 3 sets. The problem with service point is that the games would sometimes drag on forever. It was an enormous burden on the athletes. And when you consider that oftentimes during tournaments, they're playing back to back to back across subsequent days, it could put you at a major disadvantage if one of your sets dragged on for a really long time because you have to win by 2. So a service point win by 2 means that you could just defensively carry things forever. And it really rewarded endurance and less aggressive play. So it was changed to rally point. So you can win a point on any service, whether it's yours or the other players. So I believe in the 2000s. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was the 2000s to encourage a more aggressive style of play. But to make sure the matches weren't crazy short, it was changed to 21 points per set. I think the 21-point service point, 21-point rally point format, still best of 3, was horrible for the game. Not for the players. The players like it. And they actually, from my understanding, still mostly like it. And there's a lot of resistance to the new scoring format, which is 15 points rally point. But why I think it's so detrimental to the sport is it's really boring to watch. A 21-point match. I mean, tell me how important, in hockey, how important is the first goal to you as a player?
Right, yeah, extremely.
Extremely important. From the opening face-off, from that moment, the entire game could be riding on the line.
There's also a significant amount of fear at any point in time that something might happen which could result in a goal.
Okay.
Like if the enemy team is in your team zone and you're a fan, you're shaking in your boots at most stages of the game.
Yes. Okay. So, counterpoint, what if a hockey game was played to 21 goals?
Yeah, you don't care that much.
The first goal,
Almost doesn't matter.
So what's happened, and especially...
So you got to set the tone.
Especially in a format that is like a seeded, bracketed tournament, where your top seeds are playing against your bottom seeds up until you reach, realistically, like the round of 16 or quarterfinals. You end up with a lot of boring play that no one cares about. Because the first little bit of the game is everyone just kind of like settling in. And then after that, you've got like a very obvious who's going to win and who's not going to win. And there's very little upset in the rally point system because a better player will just win more points. And there's less like, oh, but hold on, he could defend their service, regain the serve, and like scrape his way back into the game. You don't really get as many momentum swings, and you don't get as many upsets, and you get a lot of the game that's just kind of like the players themselves are kind of tuned out. They're not going as hard, and I think it's really boring to watch. The other thing that contributes to badminton being boring to watch is the camera is the broadcast. The camera angles suck. They do such a poor job. I remember showing someone like a really high level badminton match at one point and them going, well, why are they just like lobbing it to each other? And I'm like, bro, if I hit those shots to you on a court and you like properly understood from the actual movement how far they're going, they travel way farther in way less time than top level tennis players. But you don't know that from watching it. You can't tell. Like the sheer athleticism of the game is not apparent from
farther. I don't think that's true.
Way farther. It's not even close. You cannot think it's true, but it's
in the
not
amount
even
of
close.
time. I think you're totally right, but the distance,
it's not even close. I promise you. So it's a men's singles to men's singles, like top level Olympic match comparison. Someone did the math.
Total distance moved.
Total distance moved.
Okay, I think we're talking about different things. But okay.
Total distance moved is higher, and it's in less time. Both of those things. It's crazy. Like what they're doing out there, and the explosiveness of the movement. It's a great game. It's a wonderful game. You can't tell. The angles do it no service whatsoever, and especially the English-speaking commentators, they might as well be commentating golf. So I'm coming around to my point finally.
You should commentate a game. It'll be fun.
I'm not experienced. I'm not like it would still be very amateur and like crappy and boring.
Bring one. This is how game casting does it. Bring one person on bring one of the people from Badminton Insights and then you have like you're the energy and they're the facts person.
Okay, you know what? It's kind of an interesting idea. I kind of like the idea. Anyway, I'm coming around to my point here. So you ask why the players aren't paid as much. And it's because, in my humble opinion, I see a lot of resistance from the players to rule changes that would make the game more entertaining to watch. Where does money come from?
Interesting.
It doesn't necessarily come from people playing the game in their backyards. They'll go and they'll buy a racket from Yonex or Victor or whatever. So there's revenue coming into the companies that are sponsoring these events, but it's not necessarily attributable to the players.
Yeah.
It's not attributable necessarily to the broadcast, except, like you said, to those very top players where the matches are interesting, where anyone could win. So I would actually like to see them go even farther in the reduction of points per set. I'd like to see something that's closer to like a tennis scoring system. So for badminton, because the rallies are generally shorter, what I'd like to see is maybe like best of 5 sets, but playing service point to like 5 points or 7 points. So very, very, very short sets, but that have service point in order to give an opportunity for upset victories. Because realistically, even if I'm a much better badminton player than you, I could make 3 mistakes. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. But I could make 3 mistakes.
Sure.
Now the pressure's on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You create tension. I want tension and I want excitement the whole time I'm watching. Think about sports that are fun to watch, that keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time you're watching. Anything could happen.
Yeah. It's always tension.
Badminton doesn't achieve that.
all the ideas, your idea is very interesting. All the ideas I've been trying to think of while sitting here, I don't think work for the players at all. I had one where like if your rally gets far enough in, it becomes like worth more or something.
Oh.
But like that now you have players like counting on cores. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun as like a video game, but it doesn't work as like a sport.
Yeah, like and then if you get enough multiplier bonus, you could have you could nuke your opponent from orbit with the geo positioning laser.
If you go six rally back and forth, you can like double jump.
You could do a special combo move.
Helicopter hit.
Yeah, so sorry, that's my extremely long answer to what I think is wrong with badminton is it's not fun enough to watch.
A lot of sports have that problem.
Yeah, it also has the problem of like being very, very multinational and therefore it being hard to get like good common language interviews for your various geographies of audience.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a funny thing because in general, I find myself not liking the corporatization of sports. Like it kind of sucks that Macklin Celebrini doesn't play for the fucking Vancouver Canucks, given he's from here. Yeah. And he's like the most exciting player in hockey right now.
Yeah, it'd be pretty freaking cool if he did.
I don't think I would mind that.
That would be awesome.
And like the fact that Connor McDavid doesn't play for the Toronto Maple Leafs is like, kind of ridiculous. Where's Sid from? He's from Nova Scotia, I think, right? So the fact that the Hartford Whalers don't get to still exist and Sid plays for them, like, come on, man.
That was like, okay, so yeah, but this is very true with hockey, where like Americans will be like, oh well, we beat you, and it's like, yeah, your team has a lot of Canadians on it. But then baseball,
in Stanley Cup,
you look at the Toronto Raptors, and it's like, oh, the Canadians finally made it. It was like, kind of.
Were there like 2 Canadians on the team or something?
Like, it's kind of a lot of Americans.
So as much as I don't love the corporatization of sport, where like the Vancouver Canucks is just a brand.
Yeah.
It has no meaning. Like there was at one point there was more Swedes than Canadians on the team, which I don't mind. I have nothing against Swedes.
Historically been a big thing for Vancouver to have a like disproportionate amount of Swedish
basically
players.
The Canucks were Team Sweden at one point.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that. But what that does a really good job of is like getting people excited about, like their team. Whereas when it's like the national team, if you don't happen to have a star player, especially in a more individual sport like badminton, there's like nothing to cheer for. Whereas if you just, had the Malaysia Aces and, the Canadian Geese, or you did more branding around it, then I think there's a chance
there's also arguments
to build long-term fandom.
Yeah,
like people will identify, like they'll wear the hat. Like I'm a Chargers fan. I'm a Raptors guy.
Sure.
Nobody. Very few people do that, except like on the court. Like they'll wear like, a jersey or whatever for their favorite player, but there's not that team branding. And it works. It works. I don't make the rules. It works.
This is an ignorance thing. Is most of the world as interested in sports at all as North America is?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like
as a viewer, as a fan.
Dude. Like cricket in India.
Right.
It's like crazy.
Is that them having a massive population?
It's just crazy.
Okay.
And like, dude, soccer, South America, yes, spectator, 100%. Hundo P.
The Brits.
Hundo P.
Yeah, soccer is pretty huge.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, Agent Renzo, Japan loves baseball. Dude, the way that Japan just kind of was like, oh, this American thing? Nope, it's a Japanese thing now. By the way, the greatest player on the face of the earth is Japanese. He's an absolute god at absolutely everything. Like, Japan just exploded into the baseball scene. That's been wild to watch over my lifetime.
I just like, whenever I'm traveling literally anywhere that I've gone, I've never been to India, but anywhere that I've gone, you don't see it.
Interesting.
That's what I mean. Like if like in Canada, You go basically anywhere, and you're going to see somebody wearing something to do with some sports team. In America, same deal.
Would you necessarily recognize their sports attire?
Not necessarily, but usually sports attire has kind of a vibe.
It does.
Solid color, big logo.
But I wouldn't necessarily.
There are definitely. Guarantee you there are cricket teams I would have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hit us, Dan.
And sometimes some soccer jerseys just look like an advertisement.
This is true.
I can't tell.
Hey, DLL, loving the cables. Do we have any news on DisplayPort or HDMI?
The news is that we're working on development, but realistically, even if we got our golden samples and signed off and said go, there's no production capacity for them until we can somewhat catch up on USB-C and USB-A. So we're working on it. We're going to do it. They're not going to be the same. So they're going to be a little bit more rigid just because the conductors are so thick. So they're going to have like a bit more like memory to them, but they're still going to have the same outer sheath. So they'll be super UV resistant, and they'll have that kind of that nice feel to them. And obviously the signal quality will be a top priority, but they won't have quite the same flexibility. So that's something to watch out for.
Hello, DLL. Steam frame hype.
Oh, I know.
If it ever comes out, any opinion on the way Valve has handled the release so far? Has Luke tried the controller?
I have not.
Oh yeah, you should borrow one just to try it out. It's different. It's definitely better for people with big hands than for people with my size mitts.
When I saw the imagery of it, I thought that'd probably be true.
She's a thick boy.
The big pads, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for how Valve's handled the release so far, I don't think Valve had a choice. Obviously, Valve would have loved to have the Steam controller and the Steam machine and the Steam frame come out at the same time. I'm like, no question. But Rampocalypse, what are they
already in the
to
warehouse for the controllers. Got to start moving them.
Yeah.
I saw in your review the thumb collision thing. I suspect I'll have an issue with that.
Right. You don't love the symmetrical thumbsticks. Neither do I.
Really hate it.
Neither do I.
Really hate it. Real bad, man.
Yep, DLL. It's great to watch live from the UK. From your limited experience with it, would you say that the Steam machine will be worth the wait, or bite the bullet and upgrade my i7-7700K at today's prices?
There are some deals to be had on DRAM right now. I don't know how long they're going to last.
It's fun. It's funny looking at them be like, oh, it's whatever percentage off. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, don't ignore that. Just look at the price. Yeah. If you can snag a deal, I would snag the deal you can snag, and I wouldn't wait much longer. i7-7700K is old enough that there are modern games that are going to benefit from a big upgrade for you. I would go for it.
Hi, Linus and team. Are you still running an LG TV OLED as your work monitor? Any annoyances you've come across, and how did you fix them?
I am not anymore. The biggest annoyance has got to be the auto brightness control as you go from windowed applications to full screen applications. There's not a ton that can really be done about that. The monitor that I'm using for work right now is the one that we did a sponsored LTT for. This thing is absolutely knucking futz.
Whoa.
It's 52 inches, 6K, and the way Dell markets it is as like a 4K. What's the size of the 4K they compare it to? I don't remember, but basically it's like 6144 by 2560 at 120 hertz. This thing is wild. So it's like having a 4K display and then like two 1080s flanking it. And it's 52 inches across. It's curved. It's got a built-in Thunderbolt hub. So I just roll up with my laptop, plug in, and all my peripherals are ready to rock. My webcam, my mic, everything's good to go. It's IPS, so there's no tomfoolery around like auto brightness and dimming and anything like that. It's like 4,000 Canadian dollars, so it's like $3,000 US.
I was gonna say, I think I'll keep my my three monitors.
It's the nicest monitor that I use, but could never recommend. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough, and hopefully, you know that you're seeing prices like of standard class monitors. I don't know, 1080, 1440p monitors right now, constantly coming down.
Yep.
Stuff like that will come down eventually.
And for the price, I would solidly recommend the 42-inch TV instead. That's Even with the distractions and annoyances. I remember we did a video a while back on how you can get like a service remote for the LG and there's more stuff you can adjust. I don't know that that's true of the newer ones though. I think I was on like a C2 at the time.
Yeah, I've got a C2 as my main monitor. And 52 inches nice, and they're pretty damn cheap. Let's see, what else is next? Hey Luke, how are you liking TARKOV 1.0?
I was having a pretty okay time with it, and
you sound so enthusiastic.
we Linux challenged. I do want to escape from Tarkov. I want to like complete the game, which is possible now.
Okay, hit me up. I'll join.
Yeah,
I'll be your boat anchor.
You're gonna come have fun. We'll see how that goes. Especially because like I was playing decently close to launch and doing okay. But if I jumped in now, everyone's going to have like crazy gear. So it might make sense for me to wait for a wipe again and then try to beat it then. But we'll see.
Hello, DLL from the Netherlands. Question 1. My company is looking to give non-techie users to vibe code in-house apps users think will help them with their work. What's your thoughts? Also, when's the LTT vibe code video coming out?
I talked about that earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay. So.
Yeah, it's dead. It'll maybe be a Floatplane exclusive with like sort of roughly cut together, but it's been so long since I did the challenge that it just doesn't seem that relevant today.
So I'm going to hear your question and take it in a slightly different angle, but an interesting application for vibe coding that I've thought of recently that I've kind of pitched to somebody internally who was trying to vibe code their own thing, but something that would be pretty sketchy to vibe code, was how about you try to vibe code it on your own and use that as the request?
Yeah.
So like...
make this, but not crap.
Yeah, basically. Because one of the most difficult parts is actually getting out of someone's brain what they actually want. And you'd think that wouldn't be that hard, but it's really, really difficult sometimes.
That was what I expected to be the conclusion of the vibe coding challenge.
Yeah.
Was that the best use of it for someone like me was to make a proof of concept that I could then hand to a developer and go, this is what I need it to do. Now it does everything I need it to do, make it not suck.
And I'm not going to lie, if you handed your version to Dan and he got to start with that instead of your notes, I bet you would have done a better job. And your notes weren't even like that bad. Like compared to most people pitching things, your notes were pretty good. Some people will give you just nothing. And it's like...
I tried to put a lot of thought into it. Like what I tried to do was I tried to provide Dan with the same prompting that I would give to an LLM.
Yeah.
Because if the LLM can't do it, then he can't do it for sure. Or like if he can't do it, then the LLM can't do it. That's what I was going for. So he would have to have all the information. So I tried to be extra super serial, thorough.
Yeah. So like I think that can be kind of neat. Like let this person brainstorm with themselves effectively and come up with like this thing doesn't necessarily work, or maybe it's like a just absolute nightmare for security reasons or whatever else. But this is kind of what I want it to do. You can poke around and see the intention and then take that and actually make a thing out of it. Sounds pretty cool. A company really encouraging their employees to do that. I mean, yeah, sounds like security problems, depending on what your company works on. I've also seen people do some really cool stuff with vibe coding. I'm pretty sure... what's his name? Hank Green, YouTube. Let's go to his channel. He has a video, the Artemis photos you didn't see yet. And then in here, he vibe coded a website called Artemis Timeline. And you can go through and see the photos that were taken and the like time of day and which camera took it and what they were supposed to be doing at the time.
Yep.
And all that kind of stuff. And he put this together with some vibe coding, and it didn't perfectly work. And he had to step in and make some changes to it and improve things and fix data and whatnot. But like he got part of the way there with vibe coding. And if you're not Hank Green and you can't take it the rest of the way there, maybe within your company you can hand it off to somebody who can.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up like creators using vibe coding. I was at Creator Summit recently and I spoke to at least one, I'll just put it that way, creator who uses vibe coding very regularly in their projects and just doesn't disclose it.
Yeah.
because they just don't feel like dealing with the hate. Because at the end
I
of the day,
know.
all the viewers care about is like
Yes.
the end result of the product. They're never going to audit the code. It doesn't matter because they're never going to ship it to anyone. And they just love it.
I know multiple creators personally that use it and don't disclose it. But they're also not like shipping.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
these
the
are tools
same
for
thing.
themselves. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and Hank Green did, but he disclosed it, I think, like multiple times in one video. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't,
That's a Hank Green thing to do.
yeah. Sure is.
What's
and it's
up?
a cool site.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go.
What's up, boys? Luke, what specific chair do you use at home when sitting at your computer and gaming?
I had the name in my head earlier and I don't remember. Let me see 1 second.
I took that from you.
I can find it pretty easily. Computer. Oh my god. Computer chair. The Marcus. The IKEA Marcus. That's it.
Nice. Solid.
It's cheap. It's not that good. Nice.
Hello, legendary lords of devices. This question mostly goes to Luke. Wow, 3 in a row. But Linus is free to answer as well. I've heard you mention playing Baldur's Gate 3 before. What's your favorite class to play?
Oh, dude. I don't think Linus is going to have one of these. I don't think you've played it.
I always play Mage Chicks.
Okay. Mage
Whether
Chicks,
it's
I think,
World
are...
of Warcraft or Dragon Age or like whatever, I go straight for the Mage Chick.
I personally think those are cooler in Divinity because the interaction of all the spells with each other
Cool.
and being able to do that kind of stuff. Fighter.
Classic.
They're just so sick in Baldur's Gate. They're crazy, dude. They're nuts. Attacking like 6 times in one turn is just crazy.
Jumping all over the place?
Yeah, they're they're nuts. One of the designers for Baldur's Gate must have looked at D&D and been like, fighters are boring. What if we just gave them crack? Just like, what happened?
It worked for the Germans.
Basically. Yeah. So I don't know. Those are fun. I like tons of stuff though. I've played a bunch of different classes, but yeah, just send it. Just full sending Lae'zel down fighter is sick.
All right.
DLL, if LTT could pivot to a completely channel unrelated topic for 1 week, what would you cover? Also, thanks for the new shipping perk. I upgraded to Floatplane Plus because I did the math and I would actually save money.
Nice.
Yeah, if you order a fair bit from LTTStore, it's kind of a no-brainer. The Floatplane perk includes always free shipping. I have clarified with the team that is apparently forever. So free shipping over a threshold, but during Shipstorm, the threshold's even lower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would probably be, okay, this is going to sound crazy, but I think it would be like going to garage sales. If it was just for a week, just like a throwaway thing, I would probably like thrift or like go to garage sales. I love hunting for deals.
Garage Yard Wars.
And it'd be kind of fun to like not have to bother with computer deals for a change. I think that would be a blast. Linus and Luke just go to garage sales. I would watch the crap out of that.
I was thinking, I don't feel like this is my personal vote, which I think everyone's going to get pissed about, but my personal vote is that we maybe don't even do a Scrapyard Wars this year.
Oh, we're not doing one this year.
Yeah, okay. Everything's just kind of a mess. But I was thinking, next time we bring it back, I think you and I should be teamed up.
Ooh.
I don't know.
You just want a trophy.
Maybe. I don't know what I don't know what the challenge is. I don't know why it makes sense, but I think it would be fun.
It's just going to be 2 adults beating up toddlers at that point.
No,
well, we've done it before.
Yeah, we lost once when we were teamed up, I think.
Really?
Nope.
Did we not?
We did, and then figured out that they cheated.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. But they did super well.
Yeah,
and I
they
think
did.
they only really cheated because their part like died, which
Yeah.
was unfortunate. But we still win.
Hello, Linus, Luke, and Dan. What has been the biggest tech interruption caused by pets? Once I had our dog rip a DSL cable, which took down internet and television for a few hours.
When I was a kid, we had a pet rabbit, and they chewed through all of the cables behind the TV.
Nice.
And then my brother and I didn't think quite as highly of the rabbit.
Yeah, I can imagine you two not being into that. Not a pet, but I had rats destroy both our minivan and Yvonne's SUV recently, making nests in them and chewing through wires. They both had to go in for work over the last few months.
Yikes!
Pretty not impressed by that. So I have to rodent proof my garage now, which is just the kind of thing I love doing on a weekend.
I had that problem ages ago. In an effort to be green, they made the wires out of cellulose. Let's just make.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it was some derivative or something. Let's just make all the wires in the car out of rat food. Great choice.
Okay, as much as it's like a champagne problem, I was talking to my uncle about sort of green initiatives in manufacturing and how they sometimes have unintended consequences. And he was saying that in some ways, an older airframe is actually more desirable than a newer one. And the reason is that the EPA mandates the use of more ecologically friendly primers on the frames now that just crack and fail after not that many years compared to the old ones. And then the
painting's like crazy expensive because, I don't know, it flies.
And so the one from 1990, he was telling me it's actually more economical to carefully remove only the paint and then just touch up the primer because you can't use the old stuff anymore. So you just touch up the spots where you accidentally went through it. Than it is to strip it and reprime it because of how often you'll have to completely strip it and reprime it now. And everyone knows this and just keeps doing it. And it sort of raises the question, how much eco-friendly paint do you need to use before it would have been better to just paint it once with the not eco-friendly paint? And I don't know the answer to that question.
I also wonder what about it is not eco-friendly and how not eco-friendly it is. Because it could be that original primer is just really brutal.
It could be as bad as painting it 6 times.
Right.
But unless we know for sure that math, which maybe someone has done, but I just doubt it. How many times do they have to manufacture the cable harness in mine and Dan's car before it would have been better to just use the less eco-friendly cable harness?
Yeah, what if it's rat food?
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's the potential the manufacturing of the product could also be super, super brutal. Maybe not so much for wire, insulation, but sometimes these have unintended consequences.
Bro. Bro.
What?
I just got some good news.
What?
I just got a tracking number.
Uh-oh.
No, or here, I'll bring it up here. I told these guys at CES, I guess it was. Did we even make a video?
CatOS, stop tracking people.
I don't think I made a video. Did I do a short?
Bro, what
are
you talking about? You gotta tell me what you're talking about.
Okay. Do you remember Roar Systems, the guys who did that airjet thing?
Yeah.
Okay. At CES, they showed off something called liquid jet. So traditional cold plates, right? Like water blocks, are made by taking a plate of copper, and then you mill a design in it. So, little pins or whatever. Or a lot of modern ones use what's called skived copper, where you take a blade, and so you take that flat piece of copper and you shave a sliver of copper and then fold it up and then make another fin and make another fin.
There's a lot of videos of making heat sinks that way.
Skived copper is so cool. Anyway, that's the traditional way. Your geometries are pretty limited because it's subtractive or using the malleability of the copper to reshape it. Roar is using more like silicon manufacturing. So they're using metal deposition, like you would make microchips. So by using copper deposition, they can make geometries that are out of this world, more thermally efficient than even skived copper.
This is not a good
That's
example.
not what I'm getting. I'm getting just, oh no, you can keep that up though. I'm getting just the like cooling engines at the top right. I'm getting 2. So we're going to try putting one on a gaming GPU.
Cool.
And just like
Nice.
seeing how fast she go. This stuff's so cool. So I've been working on this since January. And I was like, yeah, I don't see the point of me making, I remember now. I was like, I don't see the point of me making a video about like, here's a demo on a GPU no one will ever own, but I'm really excited about this and I really want to work with you guys, but I want one. And it's taken until now to kind of give them all the reassurances that like, you know, we're not going to judge them based on that the VRMs are going to be hotter because it's not a full coverage solution and just like, no, guys, it's, yeah. We're good. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked to check it out.
Yeah, nice. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Howdy from Texas, mechanical/manufacturing engineer here. What manufacturing methods do y'all use in the production of your products or any product in general that still fascinates you today?
Injection molding?
I was going to say, it's all kind of fascinating.
Casting?
3D
machining?
metal printing?
I mean, lots of different things. Laser engraving? I mean, we have a lot of like small scale stuff in house, but realistically, you know, we're using industrial scale manufacturers for a lot of the stuff that makes it to LTTStore. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to produce in any meaningful volume. So I'm very fascinated by manufacturing technology, but unless you asked me a specific product, then I wouldn't really be able to narrow it down too much, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Linus and Luke, about to quit my job to be an executive at a startup.
Oh, huge step.
Small business focused on home services. After seeing many businesses rise and fall, what are the biggest indicators of success? Tips?
Culture. You have to have a culture that's hungry and wants to win. At times, we've had a very hungry, winning-oriented culture, and at times, we've had a very complacent, collect a paycheck culture. And
at times we've had mixed.
And at times we've had a mix that has been at various levels of health. And I would say that if there's anything that I could tell you to focus on, it's have a culture that is laser focused on just winning and being hungry, and failure is not an option.
Hey, Lip Lap Dap. You mentioned a while ago that you were going to hold a Smash tournament as a middle finger to Nintendo's crazy guidelines. Any update to that for the future of Whale LAN?
We got yelled at.
Love the L coin.
By our own people.
Yeah, we basically... I'm not going to tell you my wife said no, but my wife said no. And she was right. She usually is. Sometimes she's not. Hypothetically, I imagine sometimes she's not, but usually she's right. Sometimes she can be very, very conservative in terms of like CYA, you know, covering our butts. But that has, you know, and there are times when it's very annoying to navigate that, but then we'll get audited and we like pass our audits, and I'm like, right, good job, you know.
Do you have any recommendations on what I should use on my PX13 for the memory modules? I plan on repasting my CPU to get rid of the liquid metal before I kill my unit. I plan to use BTM 7950 for processing.
Ooh, it's less a matter of what you should use, and it's more a matter of what thickness you should use. You may want to try checking with ASUS. They may be willing to tell you. If they're not willing to tell you, then, man, your best bet might be to just take it off and measure the thickness of those thermal pads and then make sure that you're not putting in something that is thinner or thicker than what's already in there. Or you could just keep using the thermal pads that are in there. I mean, realistically, are those going to be a real problem for you? Is your memory overheating? There's no liquid metal on the memory. So if it was me, the convenient way would be to just reuse my thermal pads there. That's going to be my low friction recommendation.
What's your opinion on the online belief that the Steam machine will include a controller on launch? I'm interested, but the price worries me. Also, what's the status on the physical Linus coin shipping?
Status on the physical coins is they are in manufacturing, and if you check your order confirmation, it should tell you like when they're expected to be being minted. As for the Steam machine including a controller, from my understanding, it should include a controller. That was what Valve
Pretty sure, yeah.
told me when I went down there for the announcement or the unveiling. If something changed due to the way the market is right now, I wouldn't actually like hold Valve to the coals over it. Like, it's a tough situation that they're in. But from my understanding, that is the intent.
Hello from Toronto. I just finished Sea of Stars and I'm looking for my next fix. Got any recommendations for more retro vibe fun times? Already finished Crosscode from your WAN Show recommendation.
Ooh.
Is it retro or is it JRPG? Because could you recommend Expedition 33?
Oh, Expedition 33 is so good.
Not retro looking, but JRPG. Not technically.
It's retro
Japanese.
vibe fun time.
French RPG. FRPG.
They want a retro vibe fun time. Chained Echoes. Chained Echoes is another one I played and really enjoyed. The story gets a little sort of weird, but that's kind of typical of the genre toward the end. Chained Echoes was my answer, Dan. Oh, there he goes.
Sorry. And last one I got for you today is, hey, DLL, is there any plan to make a windbreaker coat? Love from La Belle Province.
I think so. I actually don't know. I'm so sorry. You might have to message support. And I think I'm going to message support that it's time for the end of the show. We'll see you again next week. Same bad time, different channel. You want to head over to the WAN Show channel. We're gonna have to transition over there pretty quick because this whole streaming on both is not working. We might have to figure out the collab feature. I don't know.
Apparently that isn't a thing, maybe,
cool.
but
right.
You could collab launch the VOD.
Okay.
I don't know.
See you later.
Bye.
I have to fly.
Yeah.